I'm going to go and get my tablet.
I'm gonna go get my line of cocaine.
Courtesy of Andy.
Yep. Sniffing my way to the top. Speaking of devil.
What race is it raining in? Go for them. You're laughing at?
Nothing.
It's not raining, is it? Fucking wound me up. Get myself all psyched up for a bit of rain, look, and they've let me down, Kelly.
He's gone for a fucking wee or something.
What was that?
I'm going on pad race too.
You're going on pad? I'm going to get somebody else to race for me. Dan, can you race for me?
Yeah, should we just swap positions? I'll just drive over now. You come here, you commentate.
Yep. Yep.
No one will know the difference.
I'm back.
They might, you know.
Nah, they won't.
Nah.
They will
Right.
when I'm not in 10th place.
Good luck, boys. I will catch you all later. Don't give me too many stuff to investigate. Many thanks. Bye. Evening, mate.
I don't know what's...
Hello. Hey there, Jamie. Jamie? Can you hear me, Jamie? Take that as a no.
Evening.
Evening, mate.
Alright.
Not bad yourself?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
Mate, I've got a list of things from fucking Argent.
So have I. I got sent the same thing.
I've also got 7 voice notes from DJ Phil.
Oh dear.
Yeah. 5 videos, 2 pictures, and 2 messages, all from DJ Phil.
Oh dear.
Yeah. I am not looking forward to reviewing Pro-Am, man. There's a lot to look at, apparently.
Take Kieran stuff, just have a look at it, and if it's worth... I'll say Kieran's written down when it is. Just have a look on the stream, and if it's on the stream, we'll have a look at it.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I think Pitlines will have to look at videos. I think Liam's got all the videos.
Yeah. I think Liam and Kieran have got them.
They do. I'll end up messaging Kieran actually because he'll get a horn about it. Be like, can we look at this at this time? No, nothing else, just this. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Simplay Motorsport. My name's Dan Davis, and joining me in the commentary box once again for rounds 9 and 10 of the Pro Championship is my good friend Jamie. And Jamie, how are we doing this evening? And are we looking forward to a good night's worth of racing here in Belgium, Zolder?
Yes, I'm very well, thank you, Daniel. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this track. I like this track. Good night's worth of racing.
Yeah, definitely so. And just say good welcome and good evening to everybody in the chat as for some reason damage is off. Right, so we're going to have to restart the lobby in a minute, so we'll be back momentarily. If Mats can hear me, we'll just be right back. It's always something. Always something. I'm not going to piss about trying to do it that way. Why is this being slow now? It's the fun of rushing these things. Jamie, if I get you in a sec, can you actually no, by the time I've done this, it should be done. Visual only. I set it to, oh my god, stupid thing. Right. They're still practicing. Morons. Why does that keep changing?
What?
The damage.
Well, has it just changed back to no damage?
No, that time it changed to oh no, wrong one. That one.
Yeah. Hang up.
No, it changed it kept changing to impact only. Right, who am I missing? Felt like Monkey Boy, I know. Oh, of course, they don't fucking add me as a friend, do they? Oh, yeah, I haven't got him. He never appears online. So Overtaker's got an invite, and it's just Monkey Boy left then.
Kelly's in, Sati's in, G-Bix and Argent, Mazda and Fury are in.
Gary's in, Sati's in,
And
Kelly's in.
Smokey's not in.
Smokey should have a new invite. Smoky Devil. Well, they've no.
Yeah, and that's it, because there'll be 17.
Penis. Come on, Smokey, hurry up. Where is he?
Right, give them until... Right, they got until 8 minutes past. If not, just start it.
I'm just starting it. They've got invites, so...
Yeah.
Apologies for that, ladies and gentlemen. We just had a slight error. Normally I spend the day before setting up the lobby, but obviously me being away at work and obviously not able to commentate yesterday, I made a few mistakes. But we are back here. We are back underway here at Zolder. Apologies for that, Jamie, but we are back here at Zolder and we can continue where we left off. But it's going to be an interesting night worth of racing. It's definitely going to benefit some drivers more than others this circuit, and I feel like the Mercedes boys have got a real challenge on their hands this evening.
They have indeed. I don't think the Mercedes are going to struggle as much as the Lamborghinis, though, because you need your car to be able to turn very quickly around this circuit. The car also needs to have a very good chassis, and the Lamborghini is very good in a straight line, but not very good around the corners. The Mercedes, you can alter the setup to make it good around the corners, but the Lamborghini, it's a handful through the corners.
Yeah, definitely so, but nonetheless, I'm pretty sure all the Lamborghini runners will be trying their best, especially the Overtaker. And speaking of the Overtaker, Jamie, I'm going to read through the championship standings as it stands, and it is the Lamborghini of the Overtaker who is leading the way with 160 points to his name. He is currently 32 points ahead of his closest rival, Matimovic, in second in the Mercedes-Benz, doing it for Jaeger Motorsport. P3 is Fury for Teletubby Motorsport. He's 111 points and 49 behind, with Andy, who will have to serve a qualifying ban for retiring at COTA Race 2 for Race 1. He is on 103 points and 57 behind the leaders. And fifth is D-Biggs in the Pushing the Limits Audi on 80 points, exactly 80 points behind Overtaker. And in sixth place is the Overtaker's teammate, Emo Guy, with a great Race 2 at COTA. Has really put himself back in his championship. Silence of the Lambos. Lamborghini 73 and 87 behind. Next up in 7th place position is one of the first of the Ferraris from Simplay Racing, Peaceful Explosion, with a decent round again at COTA. Will get him 93 points behind the lead on 67 points. Mazda, unable to race last time out in Kota for Teletubby Motorsport, is on 59 points and 101 points behind, with the first of the Lamborghinis of the Autosport Pro Laps as Sutty Apex currently in 9th on 55 points, 2 ahead of the Smoking Hot Racing N Plava Latvian driver in the Mercedes, 53 points and 107 behind the leaders, with Kelly currently in 11th place for Autosport Pro Laps. Lamborghini with 51 points, a really close battle between 9th, 10th and 11th, and in 12th place position, not too far off those guys as well, is the other Jaeger Motorsport driver of Gary 131. He's really seemed to be not gelling with this Mercedes, but hopefully he will be able to for the rest of the season. He's 112 points behind, and the other Smoking Hot driver of Smoky Devil in the other Mercedes-Benz, 42 points to his name. In 14th place is the Pushing Limits driver of Argent Audi R8, 29 points to his name and 131 off the lead. And bringing up the rear is the last in play Racing Ferrari of Monkey Boy, 23 points to his name. And currently leading the way in the teams is Silence of the Lambos with 233 points to their name, 57 ahead of the Jaeger Sport pairing of Matthew and Gary in the Mercedes-Benz, with P3 of the Teletubby Motorsports are in 63 behind of them, with the pairing of Fury and the Mazda. And in P4 is Slingshot Motorsport Andy, all on his own. Will be continuing to do so for the rest of the season. With 5th place is Pushing Limits Racing in the Audi R8, and 6th place is the Autosport Pro Laps pairing in the Lamborghini. 7th is Smoking Hot Racing in the Mercedes-Benz, and P8 is Simplay Racing in the Ferrari, as Argent just drops it in the second chicane. And Jamie, tonight about Zolder is really going to be about these chicanes, isn't it? Especially the first chicane. Who can negotiate their way through those chicanes as cleanly as they can? Because these curves here are lethal.
Oh yeah, they're very lethal. That first chicane, if I can try and find someone who's coming... we've got D-Vix, he's going to come towards the chicane in a minute. He's just going around the first... I think he's just gone round turn 2, coming towards turn 3, getting all over the curve, and he's now going to come down the straight towards the chicane. This chicane, you don't want to get wrong. If you cut the chicane, your car's going to the moon.
Definitely. So just really trying to test the limits of how much you can take here as D-Biggs comes to the first real lethal chicane, and look at the sides of those curves. Jamie is already Biggs a little bit unstable on exit, but nonetheless he negotiated that relatively well. Zolder though, a circuit that really challenges the drivers, and none more so than the Pro-Ams last night. They really struggled here as they had horrendous weather.
Yeah, they had absolutely horrendous weather, and the newcomer Max showing everyone the way by getting a double victory. I just like to say though, well done to Lucas Roth Keys, just for turning up after what happened Tuesday night, him coming and getting a good set of results.
Yeah, definitely so.
Unbelievable from him.
Yeah, definitely so. And it's nice to see Lucas Roth manage to get on track. Keegs, as everybody knows him as. Yeah, so he managed to get on track. Missing the touring cars, but sadly, he did manage to get on and race in the GT3s back to his best as normal. But one thing that Matthew forgot to mention on Tuesday night was race 2 was Fury's 150th appearance here at Simplay Motorsport, and failed to mention it so this will be Fury's 151st appearance. And what can he do here tonight with that? Another man at the milestone is also Gary 131, the two-time champ. He is on his 150th appearance here in race 1. So what can these guys do? 150 appearances, Jamie. These boys have been racing here for a very, very long time.
Yeah, they have. They've been racing here for a very long time. The veterans of Simplay Motorsport now. So hopefully Gary can have a good 150th race, because he's not had the best of seasons so far.
No, Gary has been struggling in the last couple of seasons. When he was in the Renault, came back to the Porsche, and then going to the Mercedes. He's really had a couple of off seasons, but nonetheless Gary should be back to his best. He's really gelled back with his BMW in the touring cars as Matt comes across the line, and he only goes within the 10th. Peaceful Explosion though is the man setting the pace here, 1:32.4 at the minute, but we'll still wait to see a lap time from Fury and Overtaker. But already I say that
first.
There we go. Overtaker goes into first position in the Lamborghini, the car you said would struggle here.
He's the quickest time I've seen all week is a 31.5 set by myself in in the Audi. So let's see if any of the guys can get close to this. But Overtaker's already got very close. He's attacking the track. We know Overtaker can extract the maximum from a car, and he seems to have that Lamborghini dialed in at the minute.
He definitely does so, and you can just tell here he's on low fuel. He is going for fastest laps, so you can tell he's already trying to get the best out of this car. So we'll see how he gets on later on, but I'm pretty sure the likes of Matt and Andy could challenge, but sadly Andy will have to take that qualifying ban after retiring at COTA. And do you think that was a wise idea from Andy? Obviously he was struggling at COTA and thought it was best for him to come away from that, and now he's got to serve a penalty here.
I don't really think that was the best idea from Andy, because even if he finished the race in last, he'd still have got some valuable points to be able to qualify for race 1 here, and the BMW should be good round here as it's got very good traction, so it should be able to get off the corners nice and easily. But yeah, it's not brilliant, Andy. It's Overtaker 31-1 on low fuel. That's a cracking lap, that is.
That is a cracking lap, and I just want to say a good evening to everybody in the chat. PN Motorsport, Peaceful Stepdad as well. And if you are in the chat, guys, then please get your queries in, questions in as well. We are all here all night long to answer your questions and queries and talk about anything to do with racing, as the GT3s are currently out on track on Zolder. And if you do like what you see here and you are new to the challenge, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to be notified for when we are live. And Overtaker this season, Jamie has really been the man to beat so far this season. He's looked strong near enough every round we've been to. The only round he did look a little bit weak was Road America, but ever since then he's really been on a winning streak. And even Emo Guy, we got to mention to him his amazing race 2 at COTA. He absolutely dominated it. So the Silence of the Lambos are really looking good to the start of this season.
Yeah, they are. So Emo Guy was absolutely fantastic in the last race. Absolutely dominated. Overtaker dominated everyone and got his first win in a while. But Overtaker's just been the most consistent man in this season so far. He hasn't had a bad race. You look at likes of Matt and Andy having bad race 2s at COTA. Overtaker has been off the podium a few times, but when he's off the podium, he's not that far away. He's not finishing outside the top 10. He's more or less always within that top 6. So I think it's the consistency of Overtaker that's got him at the top of this championship at the minute.
Definitely so, as there is a poll going out for there is a poll gone up for who you think is going to take the pole position here tonight, as D Biggs runs very wide on the exit of turn 3 and into the wall hard.
He's in the wall, yeah.
But Zolder, Jamie, you briefly said that it's one of your favourites. What is it about this circuit that you love so much?
I think it's just how flowing the track is, especially the middle sector. After the second chicane, it just, so everyone knows, I drive the Audi, and when I drive the Audi around there, it just flows round that part of the circuit. Oh, it's peaceful, gets a bit of a wiggle on coming towards.
I think he's warming his tyres up.
Yeah, coming towards the chicane. But yeah, this track is just very free flowing. Mentioning missed things, I actually found out today, and Matt's going to absolutely love this if he's listening, but there was an anniversary on Monday. 11 years to the day on Monday since a certain Mr. Matt Neal ploughed into his teammate at Oulton Park, and I've been winding Matt up all day about that.
Yeah, he is a massive fan of the Halfords Honda Civic drivers, and it is Oulton Park this weekend. Can Shedden avoid hitting his teammate Dan Rowbottom? That is the question. But nonetheless, it's going to be an interesting race as well. But Kelly and Sutty did that at COTA. They took each other out in the wet conditions, and finding out that Sutty hit the clutch pedal instead of hitting the brake pedal. So basically did what his teammate did at Long Beach. But these two are going to be focusing on trying to score as much points as they possibly can. Currently KLF down in 12th position. Sutty at the minute is in 10th. So kind of not the pace that these boys probably want to be running, but it is early days. This is only practice, as they will be going into a 10-minute qualifying session. The other thing to mention here, Jamie, is the elevation changes that we have here.
Yeah.
Obviously, the crest coming out of the first chicane, they come through the second chicane, and then there's another crest on the exit here. And they don't look like much, but they can really upset the car at times, can't they? Especially in dirty air.
They can definitely upset the car at times. Even coming through that little crest there, if you get through there too much on the curb, that'll just unsettle the car. Say coming out of the first chicane, you get that hill wrong, then yeah, it's not going to be a good lap for you. But say both Belgium tracks have got a lot of elevation changes, this and Spa.
It has, and speaking of Spa, I believe Spa is next on the championship. Good old Simplay Motorsport. We are thinking of the economy, we're thinking of the earth, we're thinking of travel, and we're going to be staying in Belgium for the next round of the championship. Rounds 11 and 12 will be at Spa. I believe Britain chose that circuit. This circuit was chosen by Smithy, and it's going to be an interesting race tonight, especially with the temperatures as well. The tyre temperatures are at the cusp line between soft and hards, so it could be a hard tyre race if you can get them fired, but the softs could die out later on in the race. So it's going to be an interesting choice of tyres, isn't it, Jamie?
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting choice of tyres. So I found the soft tyres only last for a couple of laps before they hit the cliff, but the hard tyres just don't seem to have the pace. So I didn't do a race run, but I'm pretty sure some of the Pro-Am lads might be able to tell you, but they were on the wet tyres last night. So yeah, for some of these drivers, they might be driving into the unknown with what their tyres are doing. We know Andy sometimes does go for the soft tyres, but I think the Mercedes drivers won't be going for the soft tyres whatsoever, because I think they'll burn them out probably within half a lap.
I say that the Mercedes, I think most of the guys will go soft. I did a brief test with these guys not long ago, I think it was a couple of days back now, and I was in the Lamborghini and really was struggling to get the hard tyres to fire. I eventually did, but that was by like 5 or 6 laps time. As we got Corey in the chat, nice to see Corey in the chat. He hanged out with us at the Donington Park, which was good to see. But it is quite quiet in the chat. Peaceful Stepdad said, come on guys, let's hear you in the chat, let's hear from you. Let's see what you got to say. Is Gary currently 4th at the minute. He's got a bit of damage to the front of that car, and that is the end of practice. Overtaker fastest at this minute, as Peaceful looks like he's got some pace in that car. It's all relatively close after Matt all the way down to D Biggs, separated by 7 tenths.
Peaceful goes quicker. D Biggs has just spun it into the wall.
That was a big hit. Yeah,
he's gone back into the pits. Andy, I think, is round as well. Who have we got next? It's not Overtaker, it's not Gary, it's not Fury, it's Empalava. He's coming down towards the final chicane. This is quite an easy corner just to outbrake yourself on, and if you don't get a good exit off the corner, you'll be a sitting duck down in towards turn 1. Empalava comes across the line, no improvement. There's only one car, and I think that's Andy, who seems to be playing in the dirt.
What can the Latvian do this evening as Andy is in the dirt? Let's see what actually is going on, Andy. If we go on to the chase cam, and
he's just having a chill on the grass, seeing whether it needs cutting, but he's in the wrong car for it.
As he will have to serve a qualifying ban for race 1 for retiring for Kota, but that is your practice session over, and it's Overtaker who is fastest of all, with Andy in 2nd, and 3rd is Peaceful. But again, Andy will have to serve the qualifying ban. And again, Jamie, I think the best tyre for qualifying has to be the soft tonight, hasn't it? With it being low temperatures, with the chance of as Matt's got himself a penalty already. Matt has been speeding in the pit lane, and he's got a 1-place grid penalty. So Matt already shot himself in the foot.
Yeah, no pole position. He's not going to be happy with that. Overtaker is at least 2 positions behind him, if not if Overtaker takes part in between, if he qualifies second anymore, it could spell a long night for Matt.
Yeah, and after what happened at Kota, I think Matt really wants to redeem himself and try and get himself back at the top as Arjun. But
he was a little bit there as he comes back on track. He needs to make, and that's Overtaker now off. So that chicane is proving quite tricky for some.
Yeah, definitely so.
First on the lap.
I don't know if it's my end of the stream. I'm not quite sure because I think the stream's buffeting a little bit. I don't know if have you got the stream up?
No, Matt on my screen has quite a bit of damage, so I wonder whether he's come too quickly out of the pit lane, hit the wall, and then gone straight back in.
Yeah, possibly so. But all these guys just struggling to get tyre temperature into their cars. But once they do, they should be able to set their best laps. But I think Matt is going to be the first one to set a lap time here as he crosses the start-finish line. And Matt has got to nail this lap. He's got to try and put it as close to pole position as he possibly can. With that one-place grid penalty that he has to serve, he has to nail it. He's got Peaceful just behind him. Peaceful will be able to benefit from that and get the toe. Currently 18 people in the chat. Where is everybody? Let's hear you in the chat. Who are you supporting here tonight? Who is going to take the race wins here this evening? Overtaker still leading the championship by a healthy gap over this man here who has got a grid penalty, but he's got Peaceful Explosion breathing down his neck in that Ferrari, and that Ferrari has looked quite good here in the drive so far.
Yeah, so the Ferrari's not brilliant on straight line speed, but we saw Peaceful.
Oh, Peaceful's dropped it.
Peaceful launches it over the curve. Yeah, the Ferrari isn't brilliant on straight line speed, as I'm pretty sure you can remember from all the way back in Season 2 at Daytona, being passed by everyone left, right and centre. But yeah, because this track hasn't got that many long straights on it, it should favour the Ferrari, because of how flowing it is, it should favour it.
Yeah, I don't know if I was driving the Ferrari or if I was driving the Astra. Both of them was equally as slow. But nonetheless, Matt coming to the final chicane now. This is the lap time that these guys are going to be aiming for. Towards the line he comes. Mate Imovic, what has he got? Can he get himself closer to the front of the grid? A 31.1 was the best, and there's a 32.0. I think that's his best so far. Peaceful, though, with that spin, is going to have to rely on this lap. But you've got the two Powerline racing cars right behind one another. They're going to come towards the line of Argent and Biggs. And Biggs does a 32.4. And Bravo goes 32.6. So Biggs now down the inside of his teammate. Is he going to give him a toe? As Mazda now currently going through the chicane. And stuff the apex.
Goes on pole with a 31.1 again. Real. Who have we got coming up the line? I think that might be. Is it not? No, it's not Mazda. It was Kelly. So we'll cut back to Gary. Gary's going to come across the line.
What can Gary do?
Across, only 7th. So that's a bit of a shame from Gary. Emo guy now to the line. Can he match what his teammate's done? He goes up into 6th.
He does go up into 6th position, and Mazda now coming into the final chicane. Mazda obviously missed a couple of touring cars, been recently moving house, and he's now back on track. He's now all set up and ready to go. And towards the line he comes. Has he put himself near the front of the grid? And he does.
He goes to 5th. That's a decent lap there from Mazda. 4/10 off Enplava. Sutty, what can Sutty do? Can he out-qualify his teammate at the minute? Peaceful having the moment. Sutty comes across the line. He goes 6th. That's Matt in the background. Can Matt improve? He does. He's done a 31.4. Who have we got next? I believe it will be Peaceful Explosion. As Peaceful's in the wall.
Peaceful here, struggling to get a lap time on the board. Once again, he drops it and puts it in the wall. He's only got a few minutes left of this practice session as the Fury Massey is now coming in. Fury's mum is now in the chat as we will end the poll there. And 44% of you reckon the Massey's going to take pole position. He definitely won't. 44% of you thinking that. Overtaker at the minute, the man who's on pole position. Fury with 22%. Overtaker with 33%. 9 votes for that. But at the minute, Overtaker looking to take pole position ahead at the minute of D Biggs.
Gary's now gone up to 4th place, so he'd start right behind his teammate. I think I heard a Lamborghini in the background that might have been of Sutty. No, it's not.
Could be Emo Guy. It is Emo Guy.
He's
goes
gone across
P8.
the line for 8th. Mazda next. So at the minute, as a Overtaker's out qualifying Matt by 4/10 of a second, then there's about a second gap back to D Biggs. But at the minute, D Biggs would be starting second on the grid. Mazda, what can he do? Can he improve at all? He finds a 10th, but can't improve on his position. Say, final corner.
Here comes Sutty Apex in the Audio Sport Lamborghini towards the line now. Currently down in 7th place position. Has he found any more time towards the line? He has, but not nearly enough. He's only found 600ths there. And towards the line, he will have to go again. Matt currently on an outlap, I believe, and he's stuck behind the Ferrari or Peaceful Explosion. But look at these gaggle of cars. There's M Plava, there's an Audi of D Biggs. Then you've got Matimovic, and then you've got Peaceful as well. So all these guys really close to one another. But it is M Plava, the Latvian, to the line. Does he improve on 5th? He does. He goes P3.
D Biggs doesn't improve. Does Matt? No. What about Peaceful? Peaceful's. I think Peaceful.
These are all outlaps. I believe these guys are all on outlaps. But Kelly towards the line now.
Fury own. Where's Fury gone? Fury's gone up to 6th. So there's 3 Mercedes at the minute. Of Gary, Fury, Mazda all in one. Who's now about to come across the line? Don't know, but they didn't improve on their lap time. Was that? No, that wasn't Emo Guy. That might have been Argent. In all fairness, no, Argent's a long way.
Oh, he's gone very wide there, right on the back of Fury. But there is another car coming towards the sector. That is Mazda, currently 7th at the minute. Has he found a bit more time? He hasn't, so we have to go again.
Can't out-qualify his teammate. I think that is Gary just in front of Sutty.
It is Gary 131. Your 2-time pro champ towards the line. Can he improve on 5th place position? He does not. Outlap.
There's a car coming out of the pit lane that sounded like Argent, so should be.
Sounds like a Mercedes as well. I think it might have been Fury.
Peaceful is now at the front of this queue. Matt has made a mistake on this lap, so he'll have one more attempt at this.
Either he's made a mistake or Peaceful has managed to find a decent lap time underneath him. So Peaceful out the final corner. He's finally going to get a lap time on the board. Was it good enough to get him up the order? Currently down in 12th. He now goes 11th. Up. He only goes 11th. He needs to nail this lap. As Mazda is done for this session, he will not continue on. As Matt's gone wide, Matt's made a mistake, so Matt is done. He will be at least starting 3rd at this moment. But KLF's improved. He found half a second. He needs to find 2/10 just to catch Emo Guy. Fury, currently going through turn 1, is still in 4th place. He's gone up to 4th place, sorry. So Fury, one more lap from him, I reckon.
Yeah, one more lap from him. Someone's going to cross the line. I don't quite know who that was. Wasn't Gary.
It was Emo Guy, I think.
That wasn't. No, it weren't. It might have been Overtaker, in all fairness. Yeah,
it might have been Overtaker. Yeah, he's on his own. But let's go back to Gary 131. He's the man coming to the line next. He will get another lap in. Your 2-time pro champ coming towards the line in the Porsche 911, in the Mercedes this season. And he's only 10th down with Sutty Apex right on his heels towards the line. Can he improve? No. All these guys seem to be struggling to improve now.
Yeah, they do.
Outlap for Amplava.
Who was that in the back?
Kelly?
Was that? That might. No, Kelly's in the.
Kelly,
pits,
yeah, he's done. KLF, Overtaker, Matt, Mazda, all done for qualifying. Andy already with a qualifying ban. These are the last few guys coming towards the line. Peaceful Explosion on his final lap. Is he finally going to get out of 12th place position? He does and goes to 7th only when he had the potential. Biggs will start 5th at this stage. Where is... I think it's Emo Guy next.
Yeah, Emo Guy coming to the line. Can he improve on 10th position? Comes to the line. He goes above Sutty for 9th. Who have we got next there?
Fury, I reckon. No, Fury's done.
Fury's done.
So M Bravo is going to be on the front row here at this stage. Gary's up at the minute. He's a 10th up, so he should be able to jump Biggs if he can keep it together. He just needs to nail the final sector. Gary 131, the last man to set a qualifying session here. And at the minute, it's Overtaker on pole position. But can the Mercedes driver or Jaeger Motorsport bring that to a stop? I would really hope so, but Gary's really struggling with this Mercedes. He gets a little bit twitchy on exit. Towards the line he comes.
I think there's one car just behind him. Comes to the line. Can Gary doesn't improve. Is that
P6?
That is us Argent coming to the line. He will be the last of the qualifiers. Can he get the final corner right? He does. Can he get a decent exit? Can he improve on 12th place?
Argent slower than normal. I don't know if we had or hadn't, but it is going to be Overtaker on pole position once again. Matt will start in 3rd place position, and Emplava will move up to P2. As 4th will start Fury, 5th is D-Biggs, 6th is Gary 131, 7th is Peaceful, 8th is Mazda, 9th is Emo Guy, 10th is Sutty, 11th is KLF, 12th is Arjun, and Andy with the qualifying band will start from the back of the grid. This is going to be an interesting race. We've got to keep an eye on that BMW behind of Andy. What can he do from the back, Jamie?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting what he can do from the back. I think he'll make positions up on the opening lap very quickly. He's just got to keep himself on the track, and it'll be interesting to see what strategy he goes for. Does he box early, drop right off the back, and start just sit there on his own, banging in fast laps and overtaking people as they come into the pits? But I think, who are we going for? Are you going to go for the race win, Dan?
I'm going to go for Matt for race win for this one. But you can't look past Overtaker as well, though.
Yeah, I'm going to put my money on Emplava for this one. Shake it up a bit.
That's what me and Jamie think. There is now a poll up for you guys. Who you think is going to take the race win? Overtaker, Emplava, Matt or Fury? They're your front 4. But also, if you think someone else could take the win, then post your vote in the chat. But Andy from the back of the grid, he will be a man to keep an eye on. Excuse me. The pit window will open on the end of lap 4 and will close at the end of lap 15. So it's quite a big pit window here.
Yeah, and the drivers need to make sure they get into the pit lane properly. The person in 4th place, Fury, I'm pretty sure you can remember Dan from GTE, he's made an absolute hash of getting into the pit lane the first time we ever come to Zolder. I believe he was leading and crashed into the pit lane.
Yeah, he did. As we synced up relatively quickly, everyone's pretty much ready to go. We got the lights coming up, reds are rising, we are about to get underway for round 9. And we're green here at Zolder, and Overtaker gets a decent start, but the rest of the pack are on their way. Emplava just did not get off the line, and Matt got an absolute flyer. Fury towards turn 1 as well. He's just squeezing the Audi at the minute, but we all managed to negotiate turn 1 relatively cleanly, and Andy's already on the move as Sutty Apex has dropped right to the back, and Argent has had a great start. He's up in the 10th place position already, but it is Overtaker out of turn 2, leading away with Matt right behind him, and a massive gap already, a second separating Matt and Emplava. These two have already disappeared.
Yeah. I think Peaceful and Sutty have come together at turn 1 because they are well off the back. I think
there's a car off.
Round as well. Yeah, Argent's gone round as well because he's now dropped to the back. Andy has got through on Kelly soon. Andy's already up into 9th place. He's going to be trying to hunt down the Mercedes of Mazda back to the front, overtaken with the opening lap that he wanted, and Matt as well getting the best start possible and getting right onto the back of Overtaker.
The vote is currently out for who you think is going to take the win here, and at the minute Overtaker is the leading pack and is leading on track as well. So Overtaker with the best start that he could have asked for, really, as they all come through the final few sectors. And Emo Guy not too far off the back of Gary 131, as there's a tight battle between him, Biggs and Emo as they all come through into the final corner now. And it is Overtaker from Matt, from Emplava, Fury, from D-Biggs, from Gary, from Emo Guy, Mazda, Andy, KLF, Sutty, Peaceful and Arjun. And Andy's already done one of the harder jobs, which is clear KLF, because a lot of these guys have been saying this season that Kelly is the hardest to overtake. And Sutty straight into the pits. Has he jumped the start? Did he have a drive through?
he might well have done. It doesn't. Is he going to stop or have?
He hasn't got
Have a
damage on
look.
the car. There's no one out in the pits. Meanwhile, we'll have to carry on what's going on track. But I think Sutty has got himself a drive-through from jumping the start.
Yeah,
Has
he
he got a
has.
car off somewhere? Is that KLF going backwards?
There's a car very wide. I think one of that car wide was Gary.
Yeah, Gary has gone wide. It was KLF who's dropped to the back. He looks like he's had a spin in turn 1. And it's now Audio Sport Pro Laps at the back of the grid with Argent with him. But still, Overtaker leading as Gary now has been overtaken by Andy. Andy's on a mission now, but Gary's coming back as they come into the second chicane. Gary right round the outside with that superior power of the Mercedes and gets the job done on Andy.
Yeah, good move there from Gary. Keeping that BMW behind, keep playing the team game very well for Matt. Keep trying to hold Andy back.
Definitely so, as I think Overtaker's now starting to stretch his legs a little bit. A second gap between him and Matt. But there's a very close fight between M. Prava and Fury. That's just 2/10 between these two. Fury is right on the back of M. Prava in the Teletubby Motorsport. Right on the back of him here as he goes down the inside. He's trying to get better traction. Obviously, M. Prava not scrubbing as much speed. He will have better straight line. But Fury seems to be a lot more stronger here as he's now going towards turn 1. He's going to try and go right round the inside of the Latvian. He's unable to do so, and M. Prava keeps the position. And M. Prava trying his absolute best here. He wants another podium in the Pro after a fantastic season in Pro-Am.
He's
He's gone wide!
M. Plava's gone wide. This could present an opportunity for D-Biggs, but D-Biggs is too far off at the moment. D-Biggs is under attack from Emo Guy. But Overtaker's now got a 1.6 second lead over Matt.
Yeah, but we do know there's still mistakes in these cars. We know Overtaker was actually struggling with the chicane. And the Mercedes seems to be a little bit more stable through the chicane as they all come through the first chicane. And Fury now extends his gap to M. Prava. Emo Guy carrying on his great form from Kota and is right on the back of the Power Limits Racing Audi as he looks down the inside.
Fury had a little wiggle coming through that corner. We saw quite a few people spin off there last night. I think one lap about 3 or 4 cars spun on the same corner. As
they all go into the hairpin, and Fury still leading this pack away. Emo Guy right on the back. Mazda not too far behind. Andy is on the back of Gary 131, and all these guys are not quite in an opportunity to overtake. Emo Guy is probably the closest man to overtake, and then Palava there just seems to be struggling on race pace. He seems to have good quali pace, but he just seems to be struggling with the race pace at this minute.
Yeah, Emo Guy's trying to go. Oh, I thought you'd gone to the outside, but no, you're just getting a bit of clean air. Yeah, it's a bit like normal GT racing at the minute, where you just see them all just following behind. But Gary looks like he's pressuring the back of Mazda. He's going to try to the outside. Is Mazda going to run wide? Is this Gary's opportunity? And
Plava's gone off again.
So that presents D-Biggs.
Has Plava? My question is, has Plava put the wrong tyres on? Has he gone for hards and they're just not firing?
Or has he gone for the softs and burnt them up too quickly? Plava on the outside could get hung out to dry here. Gary's going to go up the inside. Andy's going to be waiting as well.
And that was good. That was good racing there through the chicane. Plava knew that he was basically going to lose those positions. Matt has made a mistake. 6.1. That's going to allow Fury to get right onto the back of him once again. So Matt, has he hit the chicane too hard and lost the time? That's the question. That's given Overtaker a 6-second gap, and he is long gone. Yeah. He's doing what Max did last night. As we got a couple of cars off, KLF and Argent in the chicane, turn 2. They're off. They've lost a load of time. Have they got damage? That's the question. Don't look like it.
Andy's made a mistake as well because he's dropped behind Peaceful.
Yeah, Andy's dropped to the back of this queue. So Andy now, after a good start, is dropped to the back of this line of cars. But M. Prava, a couple of these guys just seem to be struggling. Have they got tyre choices right or wrong? That's the question. As Fury now is starting to put pressure on Matt. Matt, that last lap is a 37.4. As we've got a pit window has open, and he's in first.
Yeah, Gary was having a look on Mazda, but Mazda, like Kelly, is one of the toughest people to pass as you see Mazda Plato-esque blocking
And he's into the pits also. But yeah, Mazda, as you were saying, is probably one of the most difficult drivers to overtake. Everyone moans about KLF. For me, it is Mazda who is the most difficult car to overtake. No matter what car he is in, he makes it as extremely wide as you've ever seen it before. And I head to the chicane now. Can Gary, with his skill and knowledge, be able to pass that car?
Yeah, he's got to try and get a better exit for the corner. Andy has now dropped to last place, so Sutty's got back ahead of him, and Andy is only now away.
He is only now away. I think Overtaker's made a mistake as Biggs goes straight on there, and Emo Guy will want to capitalise on that. Overtaker has lost a little bit of time, only a second though, but more importantly, D Biggs had to cut the chicane. Has he managed to stay ahead of Emo Guy? Emo Guy looking into the hairpin, he sends it down the inside, and he gets the job done. But Biggs will want to get better traction, but he's unable to do so. The Lamborghini, the son of the Lambos, Emo Guy, goes through.
Yeah, Emo Guy just kind of blocking D-Biggs so he can get through.
Overtakers.
And Plava's hooked himself right back on Mazda and Gary as these two are
I still reckon Emplava's gone hard tyre and they've only now fired up. I reckon that's what's happened here, as they're well ahead of KLF, Peaceful, Sutty and Argent. And Argent seems to have made a mistake somewhere also. Andy really struggling in 13th place at the minute.
Yeah, Overtaker's only probably a quarter of the way, caught the circuit behind him, so Andy could be lapped here for a second race in a row.
I know how bad that feels, being lapped against your championship rivals. Done it a few times now in the touring cars, and Andy has really got to hope for something to happen here as another car is coming into the pits. I believe that is Argent who is into the pits.
Yeah, that looks to be Argent, and it is. Andy should be able to get past Gary. He's just stuck behind Mazda. He just can't get through.
It's like we've got a little bit of like a DRS train as Gary gives him a little bump there, and Mazda putting his car in all the right places, but these two are really holding each other up here. Mazda just parking his car right on the apex, and Gary can't get through. Emprava is not able to capitalise on the pair of these two, but he doesn't know where to go as Overtaker's in.
Yeah, Mazda's gone a little deep there. That could give Gary a run, but he's going to be on the outside, and we all know what Mazda's going to do. He's going to shut the door straight in Gary's
Fury
face.
and Matt currently battling it out for second and third right now as they head towards the start-finish straight, and Fury's already got him.
Fury's already ahead. I think Mazda, I know Gary has come. Gary and Emplava are into the pits. I saw Mazda had dropped behind Gary, but no.
So Gary,
yeah, Matt's now third on the road, but Fury's made a mistake, and Matt's going to be back up the inside as quick as anything. Fury's going to try to hold it round the outside, but Matt's always going to have the inside there. Fury looking for the cutback. He's got up on that curb.
He's going to be on the wrong side. He's going to be on the wrong side of chicane as Matt sticks to the side as he possibly can. There's ebbing and flowing between these two, and Matt heads to the chicane right now. Fury's going to try and muscle it around the outside, but he can't do so. The thing is, though, Jamie, these two are too busy holding each other up. Emo Guy is starting to lap a little bit quicker than these two as Fury looks to the inside of chicane.
It doesn't quite get it. If I were Matt, to be perfectly honest, I would possibly let Fury go and just run your own race.
Overtaker has put himself in a lovely spot right now. No traffic whatsoever. 22 seconds behind the leaders, but he's then another 15 seconds ahead of Emplava. So Overtaker once again has just figured out the window and perfectly landed in it. These two really should be start thinking about coming in and fitting themselves in that window.
Are any of them going to come in? No. But the thing is, they're now going to have the Audi of Argent just in front. Fury's got a little squirrely on the curb.
Gary 131 and KLF are quite close as KLF's trying to get onto the back of the Mercedes, and these two really enjoy racing one another as we are on lap 7, and D Biggs has come into the pits.
Yeah, and Mazda follows him in.
Mazda in as well.
Kenny runs a little bit wide.
There's Sutty Apex. Sutty Apex making a mistake there. He gets back on track safely there and carries on his merry way. But at this minute, Fury and Matt too busy fighting one another, and Overtaker was 22 seconds behind. He's already gained a second on this one lap alone, while those two are racing one another.
Yeah, they are.
I think they're the only fight on track. They're 2 tenths separating those two right now. So
yeah, Sutty managed to come back on track without hitting his teammate this time. So as these two are battling, they've got to try and not hit each other.
Let's go back to the leaders as they've actually got traffic here. They've caught onto the back of sounds like an Audi of Argent here.
Argent still.
He doesn't have to necessarily. He gave him a flash to say I'm here, but he can't flash him no more than that. As Argent will have to decide, does he want to hold these two up to help his teammate, or does he just get out the way? That is the question. Argent at the minute, no intention of moving out the way, and Matt is using the slipstream. Flash of lights again from Matt. Can't do that one too many times as they come into the final chicane now. I would have pitted if I was one of those two.
Yeah, I would have pitted as well. Argent now gets out of the way. Thing is, D-Biggs is under attack from Emprava.
He is 2 tenths separating those two. Emprava has jumped quite a few people in the pits there. He's jumped Peaceful as well. So he's done quite a few people in the pits there. Emprava getting past Gary as well and Mazda. So Emprava worked the strategy quite well there and is on his way now.
Yeah, he is. He's now going to try and look to get past the Audi. Matt and Fury quite close once again. Gap is around the 10th of a second. Fury is trying to look to the inside. There's only a few overtaking opportunities around this track, and if you place your car in the correct position, then
you really got to either hook up. You either got to hook up that first chicane, get a great run through it, so you can attack here in the second chicane as Fury is looking to the inside and he thinks better of it. Or you set up this corner into the next two right-handers, and try and get him into the hairpin. The hairpin and the final corner, I reckon, are the two best spots. But at the minute, these two are just matching each other lap for lap, as Matt was 2 tenths quicker that last lap. But Fury, he's going to have to do a send it at some point because he can't sit behind Matt for too long.
No, he can't sit behind Matt all day, but Overtaker was near enough, was about 6 tenths quicker than them last lap.
Yeah, and he's taken another second out of these two, just in the time these two are busy racing on those.
Fury's
bailed.
Fury's now going to look for the undercut on Matt. As Emplava's got ahead of D-Biggs. D-Biggs must have made a mistake because he's dropped behind Peaceful as well, so not good there for D-Biggs. He's now going to have the Mercedes and Mazda right on the back as he cuts across the chicane, so have his tyres given up, and he's now struggling to get the car stopped.
Is he struggling? And I don't know if Kelly and Sutty are pitted yet. I'm not sure if they had. Sutty obviously had a drive-through earlier on.
Sutty pitted on lap 1, but he still needs to do his mandatory stop. He
does have to do his mandatory stop. They've still got a while yet to go. Kelly, I'm not too sure about. I don't think he has. But
no, he hasn't.
So at the minute, Overtaker will be jumping Fury as Fury's exit to pits in P3. Emo Guy is not yet left the pit lane as he got this gaggle of cards. Emplava's coming at him though. So Emo Guy is now off the limit as he comes to turn 2. Is he going to keep it in the pit lane? There's Emplava. As Emo Guy crossing the white line there.
Yeah.
As KLF is into the pits.
Yeah, he now comes into the pits. There's now a three-way battle between D-Biggs, Mazda and Gary. So Gary, once again...
What's happened to Overtaker? He's lost a little bit of time. 24 seconds. He lost 3 seconds there. He was 20 seconds behind Matt. He's lost... The car's gone off somewhere. There's a car off. Is that Fury?
I think it is. I think that is Fury.
Fury went off in the chicane. Maybe Overtaker was... maybe something to do with them.
Matt now comes into the pits. Overtaker should jump him, but Matt should now have a bigger gap over Fury, so Fury's undercut is not going to work.
As we got a message, in the chat from Pedro Cruz saying Zolder is hard enough on its own, but at night, congratulations, Brave. These boys are really going for it. As Matt has done his pit stop, and it was a quick stop as well. Overtaker is coming into the final corner. Matt, a long pit exit here. He's not going to be with Overtaker, but he's not going to be too far behind. He's going to be off the limiter now.
He'll be off the limiter now. That's going to be very close.
It is going to be quite tight. Matt's coming out the pit exit.
Overtaker's just going to be in front, so that's
there he
not
is.
Going to be. That's not a nice feeling for Matt. Just saying, you championship rival, just get ahead.
As Pedro, if you did see the Pro-Am last night, they raced Zolder at night. and in the rain. Sutty also is into the pit, so that's everybody who's done their pit stops, and they're all going to go flat out to the end. We're at the halfway stage, and Overtaker still holds the race lead after all the pit stops are done. We're going to end the poll there, and it's 33% between Matt and Overtaker, split between those two, but we've still got a long way to go yet. We're only halfway, and Matt can still pressurize Overtaker towards the end here, as once again Gary is stuck behind Mazda.
He is. Someone I want to point out though, who's having an awful race is Andy.
Yeah, he's not.
He's down in 10th, and he's 26 seconds off the back of Gary. How far is it? He's a minute ahead of Sutty. So he's just having a pretty lonely race at the minute.
Well, currently, right now, Andy will be able to qualify. 13 started, so the top 7 will not be able to qualify. So at this stage, it will be Overtaker, Matt, Fury, Imogar, Emperava, Peaceful, and D-Biggs all won't be able to qualify for the next race. But Mazda, Gary, Andy, Sutty, Kelly, and Argent would all be able to. But, like I said, we're only halfway. There's still a long way to go yet. Peaceful, having a quiet race at first, slowly working his way up. Like I said, this Ferrari seems to be enjoying this circuit a little bit better. Yeah,
it does seem to be enjoying the circuit a little bit better. He's just dropped a little bit from Emplave a bit, but Emplave's not close enough to attack Imogar and Peaceful's. No, Emplave goes wide. That's Fury round.
Fury has gone round. That is not good for him, and that's going to allow Emo Guy back up in the third place position. Emo Guy with the win at Kota, he is on his way and he's on the podium as it stands. Peaceful is only 9/10 behind. Is Peaceful Explosion going to get an opportunity to get on the podium again?
He might well do. Now, what does Overtaker do here? Because he's going to have Matt right behind him. Fury tries to go around the outside. Him and Emperor.
How are those two? Question here, Jimmy. How the hell has those two managed to get through that chicane side by side? I don't know.
No, I do not know. D-Biggs has now got in front of Fury. We've got a massive battle pack here. Fury's been hung out to dry.
He's just not on the racing line. He's just getting mugged left, right, and centre. But he is on the inside of Biggs now. Biggs has have to give space. Whoa!
Had a massive wiggle there. Just come back on in front of Biggs. Gary has now finally got past Mazda. The Emplave is now going to try and disappear up the road. Peaceful's on the back of Emo Guy.
This is the battle for the last podium place. Peaceful's got to keep his cool here. He's got to try and find a way past the silence of the Lamborghinis right now. But Fury, is he starting to get a little bit flustered? Look at all the cars breathing behind his neck. Gary, after finally clearing Mazda, he's stuck behind another car straight away of D-Biggs. So Gary making very long progress to get past these cars as Fury sideways again. D-Biggs is gone. Did that look like a tap from Gary?
No, Gary was due for fact. Matt's got the lead.
He has got the lead. What has happened to Overtaker? Has he dropped on the chicane? Yes, he has, I think.
Yeah, he has. So Matt has been gifted the race lead, and Overtaker is going to be absolutely kicking himself because he's done absolutely nothing wrong with this race. But he's made a few little mistakes, but it's not anything bad, because he's been all out on his own. In front, there's sideways coming through there, but that little mistake has just cost him.
Did he just break in the chicane? He just broke in the chicane, I swear he did. But anyway, Peaceful Explosion now really putting the pressure on Emo Guy. 2:10 separating these two, and he's really pushing him to try and get that podium position. This Ferrari is looking mighty here as Zolder. It might struggle at Spa, so Peaceful will want to try and score as many points as he possibly can. These two, after a great round at Kota, they're back at the top again, and Emplava has now got pressure from Fury as they've lost D-Biggs in that fight, so it's a four-way fight for the Mercedes. But Gary and Mazda just dropped off the back of these two.
Yeah, so Gary and Mazda might have just been having a few battles of their own that lap. As Fury's now going to try and look for a way past the yellow and black Mercedes. He's going to try to the outside, try and go right the way around the outside. No, he's going to go for the cut back on Emplava, but Emplava's going to have the inside. But Fury's done him before the corner anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter indeed. So Fury now goes ahead of Emplava. And at the minute, Emo Guy, Peaceful, separated by 1/10 of a second. And as it spreads out a little bit more, Peaceful just slowly picking away at Emo Guy, but he's not had a clear opportunity to overtake. Currently 21 people watching the stream. If you haven't done so, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and hit the bell to be notified. Andy is in the pits once again.
I think he's going to lose out to Argent and KLF here, because Argent is about 9 seconds down the road from him. I think that is Argent. Argent is at the final corner, so yeah, Andy will lose a place to him, because Andy isn't away yet. He might even lose a place to KLF. KLF is now coming towards the final corner. Andy's still not away, so I think he'll lose a place to KLF.
He will indeed. Andy drops to the back of the pack, but it is Matt who still leads this race. He's only got 8 tenths now over Overtaker. He's really struggling to keep ahead of them, but look at this train of Mercedes with Gary, Emperava, Fury and Mazda all in this gaggle of cars. Then Emperava is the one holding it up, and they're all going to probably get a little bit frustrated, because if anything happens between Peaceful and Emo Guy, these are all fighting for a podium's place at that point.
Yeah, Fury looking the most racy at the minute, just trying to get past Emperava, but Emperava's defending very, very well. But he's Andy's in
the chat saying he's got 93% engine damage. It's going to be a long one as Fury has passed Emperava around the outside, and he gets the job done. Sorry about that, Jamie.
No, he's fine.
So I think Andy's going to be done for this race. He's going to be probably focusing on race 2, possibly to shut his radiator, I reckon. Or he's hit something.
I think Mazda's spun it. Mazda has spun it. He's dropped right off the back. D-Biggs and Sutty might be able to get through. Sutty's a way off, but D-Biggs has got through. Mazda has got going now, and Fury has got through on Emperava, and it's now Gary looking. I know Emperava's got back through. Gary's going up the inside of Fury. There's a little bit of contact, but Gary's up the inside. Flash there from Fury.
Oh, excuse me, Jamie. Sorry, I've been having a sneezing fit just then. But yeah, Andy saying that we've got to open the radiator, so he's going to be in the pits for a while, and he's got to focus on race 2 now. As Peaceful's coming right on the back of Emo Guy, and Gary's on the back of Fury, and I got another sneeze sneaking up on me, and I don't know when it's going to come.
Well, Gary had got past on Fury, and I don't think Fury was very happy about it. So had Fury gone and sent one at chicane, more than likely, and Emperava is now getting away for 5th place as these two battle for 6th place.
Definitely so. These two are banned out for 6th and 7th. Emperava seems to be on a roll and pulling away. Now something's gone up with my voice. What is going on with me right now? As Emo Guy is now... I've lost my voice. Emo Guy, 3rd and 4th, separated really closely now as they head to the chicane. But Gary's right on the back of Fury. Emo Guy is going to be wanting to hope and pray that his Lamborghini can hold up to the end.
He is indeed, as they've gone through the chicane now. Coming to chicane number 2. Peace is just not close enough to get make a move.
Overtaker's brought the gap down by half a second now. So Overtaker has been slowly working on Matt here. PN in the chat saying, are you okay, Dan? There's a lot of sneezing. I suffer with really bad hay fever, and I looked at the weather, and the pollen level is meant to be very high from tonight onwards. So that's probably what's going on.
Peace has run it a little bit wide. As Gary made it. He's in the wall. So Gary might lose out to Mazda here.
How's he ended up there?
D-Biggs has made a mistake. I wonder whether there's... I do wonder whether there's been a little bit of contact between him and Fury. Fury didn't... Oh, it's Gary sideways again. Mazda is going to be smelling blood.
He is going to. Gary seems to be struggling on those tyres though, as Emo Guy is still under massive pressure from Peaceful.
Here comes Mazda. Gary's going to try and hold it around the outside, and he holds it around the outside.
Oh, he's gone round.
Oh, and he hits Mazda as well, so Mazda's going to have some damage. Here comes the Audi. He's going to have better straight and speed as Mazda's had to stop. D-Biggs right round the outside.
Oh, and Biggs gets a snap. He
Yeah,
gets
he
a
had a
snap
wiggle.
there mid-corner. I think you might think that Mazda made contact, but from our view, it's definitely a snap from him. And look at Overtaker. He's right on the back of Matt right now as they head into the hairpin. And Matt, he has got the Lamborghini breathing down his neck. How is Matt's nerves? He's had to deal with green pies all season in the F1. Can he keep the pressure of Overtaker breathing down his neck? He looks into the final chicane, but he can't find a way through. Overtaker, after one mistake all on his own. Oh, as he hits the back of Matt there. And he just lifts just so he doesn't get an advantage.
Yeah, he gave him a little kiss on the back as he came through the final corner. Overtaker really wants this race win now. I think D-Biggs has made a mistake. Oh no, D-Biggs has got past Gary and Gary's got back past. Mazda's now on the back of Fury, so I think Fury's made a mistake because he's now a long way back from Emblava.
Yeah, these guys are all telling me to take some tablets. I have taken tablets, just my hay fever is that bad. It sometimes don't work. But Emo guys still under massive pressure from the Ferrari as Argent now in the way of these guys. As Fury's got damage to the front of his car by the looks of things. Yeah. So what has happened to Fury? And now Mazda's behind him. So we might have to try and connect some dots here. But the Teletubbies Motorsport boys, will Mazda be flashing him to tell him, like, come on mate, I'm quicker than you, let me go.
Yeah, last lap they both had a bit of trouble last lap. Mazda with
Fury, lot of trouble.
55. So has he gone off at the chicane?
Possibly so, and hit the wall hard. He's going to be struggling, and he's gone round again.
And he's gone round again, and that's going to present Mazda with 6th place.
Is he going to? Is Fury managing to get on track without causing any incidences? He does so, but that car is struggling. He's wounded to the end now.
Yeah, he's down tonight. What that piece of what's doing with Emo?
More importantly, 2/10. The leaders 2/10 from one another. 3/10. It's getting down. Look at Overtaker. He's in the gearbox of that Mercedes, and Matt is having to defend for his life. He's only allowed to make one move. Overtaker goes to the outsides. Can he get the job done? He's going to try and go right round the outside of Matt, and Matt's just going to push him wide. He just gives him a Lamborghini's width, but he goes into turn 2, and that's enough for Overtaker to get down the inside, but they make contact.
Yeah, Overtaker's had a little wiggle. Matt's going to try and hold it around the outside, but I think Overtaker's now got this. As Overtaker just pushes him far wide as possible. Matt's going to come have a look back down.
Oh, he hits the back of him.
Yeah, there's a little bit of contact there.
As they head to the chicane now, Matt's on the wrong side of the track. Is he going to try and be brave around the outside? He's going to try it. He gets the job done.
Yeah, he does get the job done.
That was a very fair move from Matt there. He's really trying to keep hold of this raid lead for as much as possible. As Overtaker sends it on the inside. Oh, he's going to have to give the pace back, which he does so. I think he might have missed his brakes there and just misjudged that. So he's giving the place back to Matt. And Matt now is going to have to hang in there. If these two keep going as they are, Emo Guy and Peaceful will probably be thinking, hang on a minute. Race win still on the cards here.
Yeah, they might do. Those two are battling very hard, and they're quite very.
Look who they're coming up to lap.
Yeah, Andy again.
Well, Andy obviously being in the pits, obviously struggled with the engine damage, so he's just out there probably just testing the car, making it sure it feels all right, and what can he change and adjust. Fury currently down in 8th, and he's lost the position to Gary, bouncing over the curves. Is he going to lose a place now to D-Biggs? He's really wounded with that car. Lucas Roth saying Jason Plato moved that about Matimovic getting past. So Fury wounded at the minute.
Yeah, Fury is wounded at the minute, but he's trying to get those positions back. He managed to get D-Biggs back for 8th place. He's now going to try and hassle 7th place back off Gary.
As once again, Overtaker is within a 10th of Matt. Look at him as he's coming onto the second chicane. Matt sticks to his racing line as Overtaker is weaving all around the back of him. He can't find his way past. Overtaker trying to take more curve, trying to get a better run for the second chicane, but he can't find a way through. This is a problem with the Mercedes. It's such a big car. It's such a tricky point to try and find where to get past it.
Yeah, he's searching everywhere. He had a wiggle through there. Only a handful laps left. So if Overtaker wants this win, he's got to go for it now. But we know how Matt's going to defend it. That was a late move, I think. think Matt caught him out a little bit there because he didn't defend, and Overtaker decided at the very last minute to send it down the inside. Overtaker has another look, but
I think what he's trying to do is put off Matt, make him think that he's going to go for the move. Matt has a wiggle. That's enough for Overtaker to get a run. But the Mercedes Grunt is going to stay in front, and Overtaker has to slip in the slipstream. He's going to look to the inside of turn 1, but he hasn't got the strength to do it. He hasn't got the power.
He hasn't got the brakes that we saw Matt do him on the brakes at the first chicane. So that Mercedes has much better brakes than Lamborghini. I think what Overtaker's trying to do is get Matt to miss his braking point. He's going to try and go around the outside. That's never going to work. Matt's always going to defend the inside, but Overtaker's still coming. He's still coming. Matt's going to have a wiggle.
Argent's into the pits, and Overtaker trying to muscle his way around the outside, and it hasn't worked. Something's happened to Peaceful. Oh no, sorry, the times are all just a little bit weird. But Peaceful and Emo Guy very close to one another as well, as Overtaker bounces over the curb. Let's go to Peaceful and Emo Guys. These two have just calmed down a little bit. These two are very, very close. Peaceful was literally in the back bumper of Emo Guy. The times are much, much closer than they actually look. But Peaceful has been stuck behind that Lamborghini all race.
Overtaker's made a mistake.
He has made a mistake. Lost it in the chicane, probably.
Yeah, it was chicane. So unless Matt makes a mistake, this is race win. This will be Matt's second win of the season in Pro.
And most of the drivers here will wind him up and say all of his Pro-Am wins don't count. He's going to have 2 Pro wins to his name finally. So he's slowly working his way up the order for most race wins. But Peaceful now. Can he get himself on the podium here? This is your real closest fight left on track now. Peaceful is running out of time, and it's been a while since we've seen Peaceful on the podium. He doesn't have to drive by the looks of things. Emo Guy can just pull away.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the Ferrari has the traction off the corners. He gets a lot closer under braking, but as you watch him, as they get on the power, that Lamborghini just disappeared.
He made a mess of that final chicane there. He just missed the apex by a mile in the first part of the corner, and then was unable to make it through the second part. Argent's now leaving the pits. But Peaceful now. He's running out of time here. 1 lap to go, and Matt is still leading this race after defending from Overtaker.
Yeah, he comes through the...
Oh, there's Andy.
Andy keeps out of the way. Matt gives him a little flash just to say stay out of the way. So Andy really, really struggling.
Yeah, definitely so. And what tyre has he gone on? Has he just been overcooking his tyres? But Andy just seems to be struggling after the performance he had last season. This season has not gone very well this season.
No, it hasn't at all. It's not been a good season by Andy's standards whatsoever. As he's now in between Matt and Overtaker. Overtaker has gone very deep at the final corner.
He has indeed, but let's go back to Matt. Matt is on his way to take his second win of the season here at Zolder, and what a way to start the night. Matimovic, after taking a grid penalty in qualifying, he will come out the final corner. There's a car between him and Overtaker, but it is Matimovic who wins here at Zolder for round 9 with Overtaker in second place position. The main fight now is Emo Guy and Peaceful. Peaceful's got to just try and send it into the final corner. He thinks better of it. Emo Guy, though, has got it covered. Silence of the Lambos at this minute are 2 and 3. Down the drive we go. Here comes Peaceful. It's a drag to the line. But it's Emo Guy who stays in third.
Yeah, Peaceful couldn't get there in time. And Blava now coming into the final corner. I think that might be Argent just in front. It is, so Argent will come across the line for disappointing 12. He'll be able to qualify for race 2. Yeah, Blava, 5th place. Good result for him.
Andy also saying in the chat that his throttle was stuck on 90%. So has he got something stuck, like maybe he's got wrong engine mode, maybe he's stuck in the standard instead of rich. But nonetheless, Gary coming home in 6th place position, with D Biggs will come home in 7th. And sadly for D Biggs, that is the qualifying cusp. And so Matt, Overtaker, Emo Guy, Peaceful, N Plava, Gary, D Biggs won't be able to qualify for race 2. As Mazda is going to come home, and he's got no rear wing. He's going to come home for 8th, and Fury in 9th. With Sutty Apex coming home in 10th, and KLF still on the lead lap, I believe. And that is your race 1 done.
Yeah, Kenny got lapped, I believe.
But
at
it
the
is
end.
Matt Imovic who is your race winner. Overtaker in second. I think Overtaker fastest lap of 31.9, definitely so. With Emo Guy in third, Peaceful fourth, fifth is Emprava, sixth is Gary, seventh is D Biggs, eighth is Mazda, ninth is Fury, 10th is Sutty, KLF is 11th, 12th is Argent, and 13th is Andy. And like I said just before the end of the race, top 7 won't be able to qualify. Matt, Overtaker, Emo Guy, Peaceful, Emprava, Gary, and D Biggs will not be able to qualify. That was round 9. Just grab yourself a drink, a little break here as we're about to get back underway for race 2, as we're just about to get underway for this one. And yeah, Matt taking the first win tonight. Oh, I think we're clear. I don't know. Just, yeah, be careful what you say.
Yeah, just waiting for Matt to go.
Are we clear, Matthew?
We are clear. So I need to do that.
Don't need that anymore. Right.
Why do we have to redo the lobby, Dan?
Because it was visual only.
Terrible.
Oh, shut up, man. Considering I had to go and work last night and I haven't had time to set things up. So there was bound to be a mistake.
Matt, did you hear my little thing at the start?
No, because I don't listen to the stream. But if it's to do with Matt Neal and Gordon Shadden again, that's fucking 3 times today, Jamie Brazier.
Might have been.
Yeah. By the way, how bad of a night has Andy had there?
Yeah. Horrible.
Oi, I'm up for racing the Daytona International Speedway Tri-Oval. Oh.
Oh, okay, that's not going to work now, so we're just going to have to make another lobby.
What's not going to work?
Are you still in that lobby?
Yeah.
Actually, no, don't worry, I'll just make another one.
Wow, Matt, that was a bit squeezy.
Yeah,
Squeezy.
that's
He squeezed
yeah.
me like 2 times, but it's hard, but it's okay. I think.
Yeah, I try to keep it. I like to
Yeah,
squeeze,
I
but I
know.
do try and keep it within the limits. So,
Terrible.
apologies if you feel it was a bit over the top.
Terrible.
That's,
Only one time I was too tired from the gravel, but other than that, it was okay. Nothing to complain.
good race though, buddy. Well done, mate.
Yeah, it's a good race.
Matt, you're terrible.
Dan, shut up. Right, I'm going to pop to the toilet.
He's the worst driver, don't ever race him.
Just smack him off every time you see him.
He's terrible in GT5s as well. He can never race you in GT5s.
Yeah, but
looking
you
forward to-
have an unspoken skill that no one else can master of putting Clio on its roof.
Impressive, isn't it? I think Fury's was better sending it to the moon, personally. Right, invites are going to go out now. Yeah, he literally did try and go to the moon. I think he nearly succeeded as well. Yeah. Right, new invites going out, boys.
And the funny thing.
Monkey Boy, I'll send him an invite anyway. Yeah, I think he's been busy with work.
It's too light for the lamps
broadcast
to work. Off.
That was relatively clean racing, that was.
Yeah.
Other
By
than
the
Matt.
way,
Other than Matt.
do you want to know? Fuck you. I heard your GT5 comment, by the way, as I was leaving to go to the toilet, you fucker. I'll have you know, you T-boned me. Sutty's drive-through. Do you want to know what he did?
Jump start.
So he qualified using his shifter.
Oh.
And when he went to ready up in the race and load his setup, he left
Selected
his
gear and
shifter
it rolled.
He'd left it in fourth gear.
Oh no!
So he gave him the drive-through.
I've done that once or twice in the Clios at Monza Short. I've done that plenty of times.
Dan likes Monza short. Hands upon his roof.
It's like, yeah, that's what I was saying when you were at the toilet. You know, he has an unspoken skill of being able to drive a Clio on its roof.
Yeah,
It's a very useless skill, but still a skill nonetheless.
It's a great skill.
Oh yeah. Not when it's in the final of the championship.
Dan's got that skill alongside NJ. Do you remember Cleo's where he'd come down the lane straight, went left and
do not
flipped?
fucking no. NJ in the clears at THO when he fucking took me out with me and Sutty was side by side for the championship.
No, not on about that. I'm not
Oh,
on
right,
about
okay.
We've done the Clio night ages ago, and he was coming down the lane, so went left and flipped on his roof.
I thought I balls that race up early on because my tyres just didn't seem to grip.
What tyres are you on?
Soft, because the hard's just...
I'm on sauce, and my tires were halfway dead at the front.
Yeah, towards the end I were struggling like mad.
Same here.
But I lost it early on and Fiore caught me and Overtaker had just gone.
Yeah.
And
Oh shit.
Yeah, I lost it 2 times on the chicane.
Who are we missing?
Andy's in the wrong car, Emo, Argent, Gary, Peaceful and Plava, Sutty, Mazda, me, Biggs, Kelly.
I didn't get the invite.
Oh yeah. You know, you forgot to invite fucking Matt's biggest rival in this championship.
Overtaker, Andy's in the wrong car. I'm sure there's one more missing, because I'm sure we had 15, not 14.
Is Argent in?
Yeah, Argent's in.
It's
Both Audis, right?
Overtaker's just got in.
Fury.
Argent's,
Fury.
Yeah.
Argent's just messaged me at the end of that race. Well, towards the end of the race, his partner had an asthma attack. I just asked him if she is okay, but he said it was that bad that Biggs could hear her in the background. So.
Fuck. So Matt, what tracks have you got lined up for this ACC short
Not
championship?
unsure yet. I'm going to have a look, and then it will be announced hopefully this weekend.
Paul Ricard.
Fuck off! I would rather quarterize myself. That is the most boring track in the world for GT3 race.
Right, let me just check that all this is correct now.
And yeah, Andy's now in the right car. Alright, Hungary then. Hungary and Paul Ricard, that's it.
I actually enjoy Hungary Soda.
I got it right. I got it right, by the way, Jamie.
Yeah.
I got Matt would win.
You never guessed me!
He did, he guessed you. I said
Fucking Dan, what a guy! Dan, I like you. You're alright, you know.
Oh, fuck
I
off.
said
You only say that. You only say that after in the fucking comments.
But deep
About what
down,
he said.
I wanted Overtaker to win because then I know the Lamborghini is superior to the Mercedes. Then
Well, you should have said either me or Overtaker.
I didn't want to give you too much of a hype after winning Kota. You know, podium will do for you.
Well, yeah.
Let's
Actually,
wait for the Stuart inquiry.
Matt, are we going to go live as soon as this changes?
The minute the screen changes, yeah.
Right, so everyone, nice and quiet, please. Thank you. Like we're about to sit in an assembly. Thank you very much, Jamie. Shut up.
Yes, teacher.
Emo! Don't make me give you a spanking.
Well, I might like that.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we got the top 3 with us in the chat. I haven't even checked to see if the tables have been updated. Probably so, because Matt is always on it. And we do have... Oh, they have been by the list of things. We do have the top 3 with us, but firstly, the top 7 from the last race cannot qualify. So that is Matt, Overtaker, Emo Guy, Peaceful, Emprava, Gary, and D-Biggs are the only ones who can't qualify, so everybody else can go out and qualify. And we'll start with the 3rd place man who had to hold on pretty much all race. Emo Guy, you had a fantastic race there, great podium, and best way to start the night off, and good confidence coming back from Kota.
Yeah, definitely. I had the luck of the draw, being near people, the front runners when they lost it going into turn 2. I tried to keep it on track as much as possible, even though my car was understeering like mad. It was wiggling like mad every time I tried to put the brakes on, and I had the pressure from behind from Peaceful all the time, so he was keeping me right and making sure I had a fantastic race.
Yeah, definitely so. And speaking of Peaceful, he really was hounding you lap for lap, but it just seemed like you knew where to place the car. The longer and longer it seemed to go on, the more and more. Did you seem to have the confidence to keep him behind you?
Yeah, well, it's when you play this track on many different games, you kind of learn the defensive zones, and I've probably played Zolder on more on ACC than what I have on Project Cars, and it's pretty much the same over both games. So you just try, depending on how close they are, you know when to stay more towards the right or towards the middle. And I just try to think about every time I've had to defend on ACC.
Obviously, with the weather conditions as they are with the night as well, we're in that weird cusp where the hard tyre could work or the soft tyre. Which tyre did you go up for? I'm guessing you probably gone for the soft tyre.
Yes, and if anybody that knows me that plays this game, they know that I do not touch the hard tyre.
So, Emo Guy taking the stuff on that one. But going into a race 2, you're going to be starting at the back. For once, Matt isn't last, so he's going to be happy about that. But Emo Guy, you are going to be starting at the back of the grid. What can you do from there? And can we get another race 2 win like you did at Kosa?
Well, it all really depends on how other people have learned from the mistakes in from race 1. See if they've been able to improve themselves during that time, and if they've not, then I'll be able to just try and stay as close as I can when they make the mistakes, so I can try and gain those positions again.
Yeah, definitely so. Well, congratulations on the podium, and best of luck for race 2.
Thank you very much.
As we move on to his teammate now, and Silence of the Lambos really scoring well in the last couple of races. A 1-2 at Kota, 2-3 in race 1 here. Overtaker, bit of a mixed race for yourself. Had it all under control in the first half of the race, but then something happened mid-race and you just seemed to be coming under pressure from Matt towards the end there.
Yeah, it should have been 1-3 this race. I had a lot more pace, but this Mercedes is too quick on the straight line, just couldn't get past him, no matter how hard they tried. So the harder they pushed, more the rear tires lit up, and I couldn't get him.
Fair enough.
But this race, it will be better, I think.
We noticed as well I think it must have been about lap 12, you did have the race lead. I think you had like a 6-second gap over Matt, and then it disappeared and you lost the place to Matt. What exactly happened on that lap?
Yeah, I lost it 2 times on the second chicane. I take too much curb, and I managed to avoid the wall, but once he got past me, it was very difficult to follow him.
Definitely. So again, I'm assuming yourself on the soft tire as well here.
No, I'm always on the hard. I can't touch the soft, so I'm full balanced with
hard tire today. Well, fair play to that. You're going to be starting near the front of the pack. I reckon you're going to be starting P9 for this race, ahead of Matt, more importantly. And what can you do from that position for race 2?
Well, I hope to win it, because I believe I have a lot of pace, but I have to have clear track in front of me. So I hope that the guys in front, that I manage to avoid any contacts in the beginning, and then we'll see.
Well, best of luck for a race 2, mate.
Thanks.
As we do move on to your race winner, Jaeger Motorsport, Matt Imovic takes his 2nd win of the season. Matt, how does that one feel?
That's fantastic, isn't it? What a night, what a race. Didn't expect it here.
Well, let's talk about the early part of the race. It definitely looked like, at first, the start of the race, you were with Overtaker, but over time, you seem to be losing more and more time over the laps. But then Overtaker made his mistake, and you were able to capitalise and keep him behind you.
Excuse me. Yeah, the tyres didn't seem to switch on early on, and I made a little mistake which allowed Fiore to go into the back of me. We had a good little fight until he pitted. And then a couple of laps I waited for my pit stop. I just seemed to be able to get some decent laps in under no pressure, not having to try and chase him, and the pressure wasn't there. Pit stop, fantastic. As always, as I try to always make it, pit stop was great, and I come out sort of where I was before I'd span. kind of needed Overtaker to make a mistake though, because at that point, I don't know what he was lapping, but it looked and felt like we was lapping very similar, because the gap always stayed a couple of tenths, up and down. He made the mistake, and you know me, and Jamie knows me. I'm a hard defender, and I'm going to try and make everybody's life as hard as possible to get past me, and that's exactly what I had to do for about 6 or 7 laps.
Yeah, definitely. So, obviously, going into this race, you are not going to be starting last this time. You're currently going to be starting ninth on this one, as Overtaker will be starting 7th, so I got that wrong completely. You're currently 29 points behind Overtaker at this minute. What can you do in this race, and are you able to bring that championship gap down?
This race, again, similar to what Overtaker says, and it's about damage limitations at the start, see where we can end up, and then go from there. He's a tough cookie to beat, this boy, and if you can beat him, you've done well, you've had a really good race. The fact that I've won the race and come out only gaining 3 points because he got pole position and fastest lap is hard, but this is the challenge we've got to face. Dan, you know as well as me, when you've raced against Andy, that when you're up against a competitor as quick as this, that you've got to pull out all the stops and leave nothing behind. No drop score and double points this year means that it's even harder to make them points back, so damage limitations at the start, we'll see where we end up towards the end.
Well, nonetheless, congratulations on your second win here at Pro, and the rest of the boys will now class that one as a race win. So best of luck in race 2.
Cheers, boys. Thank you very much.
As we've got a couple of happy drivers there, Jamie, and Matt managing to just outdo Overtaker in that race.
Yeah, he managed to outdo Overtaker in that race, so that's 1-0 to Matt tonight in the battle of the top 2 in the championship. At the minute, it's Andy on pole position though by 7 tenths of a second. Who have we got coming to the line? Mazda's one of them. I think might have been, I don't know who it was in front, but Mazda coming to the line. Can he improve?
Sounds
he doesn't. He goes pole position.
It sounds like a Lamborghini of some sort. I don't know if it is. It might have been Argent in the Audi. It was Argent.
I think it was Argent.
So after race 1, the standings look like this. Overtaker championship lead has come down ever so slightly. He's on 182 points, 29 ahead of Matt, with Fury in 3rd still, with 64 behind them. Andy still in 4th place position, 76 behind, but D-Biggs is now starting to slowly catch him after a decent run there. Emo Guy also with big points on that. He's only a point behind D-Biggs, with Peaceful dropping down to 7th now after Emo Guy jumped ahead of him. Mazda currently in 8th, with M Prava down in 9th. Slutty Apex currently in 10th, with Gary dropping down to 11th. KLF in 12th. Smoky Devil 13th and not able to race today. And Argent in 14th place position. Monkey Boy in 15th. Regarding the teams, Silence of the Lambos extend their championship lead, 59 points ahead of Jaeger Motorsport, with Teletubby Motorsport still in that 3rd place position, as Pushing Limits Racing have now gone ahead of Andy. Andy's just 2 points behind them in Slingshot Motorsport. Audio Sport Prolapse is only 3 points behind Andy now. So can they capitalise on that? With Smoking Hot Racing in that 7th place position, and Simplay Racing bringing up the rear, still relatively close between 4th all the way down to 8th place position, only separated by a couple of points. And we've got a couple of new guys in the chat as well. Motormouth in the chat, and Rake. I remember these guys over on another channel, and nice to Rake him. I'm going to go with. Try and get that right. In the chat as well, nice to see them, and they've just joined the Discord as well. Have I got that wrong, Jamie, or are you reading the same as I am? Or are you're not even reading the chat, are you?
No, I don't have the chat up on.
I think it's Ray.
Oh, it's Fury's dropped it, so he's going to be starting 6th.
Fury had this opportunity to take pole position, and he's just gone and thrown it away here, as Andy is now P2. Mazda is going to be starting on pole position, but Andy is on a flyer here. Is he going to find that time as he goes through Sector 1? He's coming to the end of Sector 2. He needs just to find 700s here, Jamie.
Yeah, he does. He's only got to find a fraction of the time, but he's 2 tenths down, so unless he can find a lot of time in this final sector, he's going to be starting 2nd on the grid. It'll be a whole lot better than...
He's coming in. He's just, what? I think he's still struggling with his throttle pedal there. He's not full throttle by the looks of things. If we look down here, call him Raykai.
Call him
Raykai? I'll get Raykai. I'm going to go with that. But Andy there struggling with his throttle. I am dyslexic, guys, so I am trying my best here. But Mazda is on pole position here.
Yeah, and Mazda on pole position with Andy alongside him on the grid. City Apex third, Argent fourth, KLF fifth, Fury only 6th. Then the first of the non-qualifiers, it is Overtaker in 7th, D-Biggs 8th, Matahimovic 9th, Emplava 10th, Peaceful 11th, Gary 12th, and Emo Guy starting at the back in 13th.
As Motormouth in the chat asking what happened to Andy. Andy actually closed his radiator and he had significant damage to his engine and had to repair it. We obviously run damage here at Simplay Motorsports, so we had to repair that one in the pits. But Mazda takes pole position here as we're about to get underway for race 2 here. Last race of the night, round 10. Jamie, prediction on a race winner for this one?
I'll go Mazda.
You're going to go a Mazda. I am going to go for Fury on this one.
Yeah.
I'm going to just take a stab at the dark.
Yeah, you got the prediction right last time, so I think Fury might be happy that that you've chosen him.
As I am now putting a poll up for the choice of race winners on this one. Race 2, the choices are Mazda, Andy, Matt, and Overtaker. Who do you think is going to take pole position? And if you think someone else will, then put it in the chat. As you are doing a sterling effort. Never apologise of you being you. Thank you so much, Motormouth. We do try our best here, myself and Jamie. Reminder to the drivers, the pit window opens on lap 4, end of lap 4, and then closes at the end of lap 15. But they're syncing up here, Jamie. We're about to get underway. Race 2, here we go. As the lights rev up, we're about to get underway. And we're green for round 10 here at the Pro, and Mazda gets a flyer. He is off and away as they get all relatively decent start from behind, but Mazda launched himself right off the line there.
Yeah, he launched himself off the line. Mazda does get very good starts in that Mercedes. Everyone looks like they're through turn 1 cleanly. Hopefully everyone completes the lap in one piece.
As Argent's now found a way past KLF, he's now dropped the position. KLF has got a mob of cars breathing down his neck as Argent's now looking to try and attack Sutty Apex. But KLF, with all sorts of cars breathing down his neck, overtaker, Matt's dropped it! Is he going to avoid incidents? No, he's hit Peaceful.
I think he got a tap from someone. I wonder whether it was D-Biggs, because D-Biggs is off. Emo Guy's off as well. So he either got a tap off D-Biggs or Emo Guy. But at the minute, Mazda is away. Overtaker is 6th. He's side by side with Fury.
Oh! Kelly's just hit Fury! So the question is, will Kelly give that position up? Fury has gone off there. And
the answer to your question is no.
Nope, Kelly's going to carry on going through. He's missed his brakes there and has ploughed right into the back of Fury. That's going to allow Gary 131 back through. But Mazda with a decent start to this race. And my prediction of Fury winning this race is probably gone out the window. But Andy has managed to crawl that gap back onto Mazda right now. But Overtaker also hunting his way through the pack. He's already onto the back of Argent.
Yeah, he is already onto the back of Argent. He was side by side with Fury until Kelly gave him a smack up the rear kit, and the Overtaker's done Argent before you getting halfway across the line. So Overtaker is on a charge here, knowing that Matt will have damage. Can he make this race count and extend his championship lead even further?
That is the question, but Andy and Mazda have battling for race lead at the minute. Overtaker has really just got to focus on scoring some good points. He wants to win this race, but with his championship rival Matt at the minute down in 10th place, and we will have to crawl pretty much to the end of the pit window as most of the guys behind him as well. Peaceful's managed to get past Matt here. Matt's dropped back behind Peaceful.
I think he's made a mistake.
Or he's carrying that much damage, he's just not fighting people. As Bertbass says, he should give the position back. That would have been a right proper thing to do, as the stewards will probably be reviewing that one after this race anyway. But Matahimovic struggling here with damage, your race 1 winner. But here, Mazda, we saw how wide this car was before, as Holty in the chat now says, come on, Teletubby Racing.
Yeah, Mazda now needs the world's widest Mercedes for another 20 laps. But I think Andy's going to be trying as hard as he can to get past.
Another man.
Past Mazda.
Another man who's going to... Oh, there's a car off in the background. It's that Emplava. He's gone wide in the hairpin, I believe. No, there's Fury, and Fury's quit. So Fury has left the session, and that is not good for Fury because he will have to carry a qualifying ban for Spa, and Fury is done for this race.
Yep, Fury is gone. So Fury starting at the back for Spa. That's not good at all. Overtaker is side by side with Sutty. He's going to try right round the outside. That's not going to work on Mr. Sutty Apex.
No, Sutty Apex definitely keeping that Lamborghini as wide as he possibly can. 2 Lamborghinis battling it out for that 3rd place position. Overtaker is right on the back of Sutty. Can he force a manoeuvre? He's got much better run through turn 3 there as he's right on the back of Sutty. Can he find a way through into the chicane? He has a look down the inside, but he can't get the job done. Mazda's made a mistake somewhere. Mazda's made a mistake through the chicane, and Andy's right on the back of him here. He's going to probably send it into the chicane. He couldn't be any closer, but he changes his mind.
No, Andy's going to be patient with this one, but no, knowing where Overtaker is, Overtaker's going to go right around the outside of Sutty now.
What a move if he gets that done. Overtaker round the outside of Sutty Apex.
He's not quite got it done. Sutty's still there. He's going to try and brake later and possibly go for... He's just going to brake... No, he's just going to brake a whole lot later and get him... That's a brilliant move to just go right round the outside of Sutty.
What a move from Overtaker there, right round the outside, as Fury is not happy in the chat at all. As Motormouth says, probably has suspension damage on his race, so possibly run. Overtaker's dropped it! Andy and Overtaker have both dropped it.
So
that's given...
Yeah, that gives him Sutty 2nd, Gary 3rd, and there's Maz...
Arjun now up in the 4th, so Arjun keeping his nose clean. He's now making places. Emprava now made up. So Andy's gone round again, is he? Or is he struggling for grip here? Because KLF's gone past him. Yeah, he's struggling here.
He's struggling. But the top 4, is it season 1 all over again?
Who knows? Mazda and Sutty was leading season 1 in the Pro, and it's back to that way. Mazda and Sutty currently on their way, and Mazda looking very good at this stage, with Sutty Apex not too far behind Gary. The next closest car to them is probably Arjun, and Matt just minding his own business, trying to survive that car to the end, and he's on the back of KLF, so whatever damage Matt's got, he's able to carry it relatively well. Sutty's dropped it. Gary's now up into P2, Arjun P3, and Sutty now ahead of Overtaker. Overtaker will have the run into the chicane.
He's done him already. Andy is last. He's gone from 2nd to...
Is he in the wall? Is he in the wall? Where is he? Where is he on track? He's parked it up here. He has parked it up. Maybe he's got throttle issues again, but nonetheless, he is out of this race, and if he can prove that he has got throttle issues, I don't know if that would be classed as a hardware issue, so we'll have to see that. Forgot to sort the radiator out. Oh no, he's overheated the car.
He's again for Andy. Can he limp back round, or is his engine gone?
Well, if he finishes this race, he will score points and he won't get a qualifying ban. So maybe it's worth just him rolling around on track. But at this stage, he's not going to. Matt is into the pit, so he gets his pit stop done straight away.
Overtaker is up into 3rd, but Arjun's going to have a look back on the inside. But
also,
Overtaker's got that one done.
Emo Guy in also, as is D Big. So all these guys getting their pit stops done and out the way straight away.
Thing is, Andy is parked in a bit of a precarious position because if a car goes off there, they might well hit Andy. Pieces in the pits as well.
Well, Andy being there, that's still technically a retirement because he's not wanting to finish the race. He needs to cross the line for it to count, really. So that would be a retirement as such, but he's parked up at the minute as KLF in 7th place position. Has lost out to Emprava by the looks of things.
Yeah, he takes out all the floppy markers, and he's still not going. Matt is the first away. Actually, no, D Biggs is the first away out of the pit. So
yeah.
D Biggs has jumped Matt.
Whoa, is D Biggs there? That's going to be a...
And yeah, unless he gives the time back, he's... Matt gives him a flash to make him aware, but D Biggs takes no notice of it.
That's the pit exit line. He's just gone way off, and that was it. You can't change the radio in settings if he's in the pits. He's doomed. Yeah, but it's not that though. He just needs to keep going. I know we just want him to cross the line, as Peaceful says his fault. But Peaceful now is actually a lap down on the leaders now. So Peaceful's had a horrendous pit stop. Whatever the contact he has there, there's Argent. He's gone round.
Argent's gone round. He loses it all by himself. Peaceful. The front of that, the whole of that Ferrari looks like someone's gone round with a cricket bat and smashed every panel on that car.
After a great race one, he's now going to have a horrendous race 2 here. Peaceful, can he redeem himself and gain any points? Is he able to stay ahead of the cars behind him and in front of him? And that's why Momau said he's a muppet. As I think they're here now to support Emo Guy. Can he get any further up the order? As all these guys funnel their way through down towards the second chicane, and Gary now starting to come under pressure from Overtaker, and Matt will want him to hold him up for as long as he possibly can, and Matt is on the move.
Matt is on the move, but he's on the wrong side of D-Biggs. Matt's just going to send it all the way around the outside. He's going to have a go. D-Biggs is just pushes him off the track.
D-Biggs and Matt goes wide there. Will D-Biggs hold on to the position? Matt comes back down the inside and gives him a shove himself. And Matt, a little bit too much flash in there. Don't want to flash too much.
Yeah, they both give each other a flash, but Matt is up into 8th place and he's now got 34. It was D-Biggs. He's having a proper go there.
Mazda's into the pits already. We've just seen that. Mazda's just come in as well. So your race leader has pitted, as Emprava.
Yeah, D-Biggs has now well and truly lost that position. He's gone well over the curbs. He's now going to start coming under attack from Emo Guy, but Matt has got 34 seconds to make up on Argent. Whereabouts is Emplava? Emplava in the pit, so Matt is going to come through to the end of sector 2.
And once again, we were saying earlier how Overtaker managed to slot himself into a lovely window. Mazda, I think,
he's in the lead.
Overtaker is in the lead, but Mazda's going to drop himself in a relatively good window. He's stuck behind Argent, but he's going to be he's going to have a relatively clear track.
Yeah, when Argent pits, he's going to have quite a clear track. So Matt is now coming through the final corner, and Emplava, the car in front.
Oh, Mazda had a wiggle there.
Yeah, is the car in front of Matt is Emplava, and Emplava is now coming through where Andy's parked. There is Emplava.
20 seconds to Emplava Matt has. That's how much time he's lost in the pits here. So Matt, not the best race 2 already, but Gary and Overtaker leading this race at this minute, with Sutty Apex currently in 3rd and KLF in 4th. All these guys still yet to pit as Overtaker is in. Can he jump Mazda? That's the question.
Yeah, it comes into response to Mazda. There's a bit of wheel spin there, so whereabouts is Mazda? Mazda is now going to come towards the hairpin. Anyone else going to be on the side? He does not. What about Kelly? Will Kelly pit this lap? Doesn't look. It does. He's going to come in. What about Argent? Argent is coming straight in as well. Comes in very, very quick compared to Kelly.
So all these guys coming into the pits.
Overtaker's on his way out. Whereabouts is Mazda? Mazda is there. It's going to be mighty close between these two. Mazda heads down towards turn 1. Overtaker's off the limiter. I reckon Overtaker's got this race lead. He's got the race lead.
So Overtaker taking the race lead here away from Mazda, but Mazda will be trying his best to come back at him. My laptop's decided to die once again, so now back on the phone. So Argent into the pits also.
Yeah, Kelly away ahead of Argent. Matt is now heading down towards turn 1, and I think he's gonna be behind the pair of these as Matt now comes through turn 1. There he is. Kelly goes straight over the pit exit line as well. So yeah, people need to remember there is a pit exit line for a reason.
Wait, did I miss that Kelly crossed the pit exit line, did he?
Yeah, Kelly crossed the pit exit line as well.
The Pro-Ams did it, and now looks like the pros are doing it as well. The pit exit line is there for a safety reason, and they're just chopping across it. It's Argent breathing down the back neck of KLF.
Yeah, and he's got him already. He got got. Oh no, he's not got him through the side by side. Yeah, the pit exit line is there for a safety reason. It's not there just to look pretty. As Argent dives down the inside, misses a chicane, he's got to give the place back to Kelly. Does so because he's going to let Matt get even closer.
As they are now going through the sectors here. As Argent's still looking to try and find a way past. As the Argent's looking around the outside here, and Matt has also wanted to try and find a way through if he can possibly can. But I've just had a worrying message from Andy, but we won't discuss that for the meantime. But Matt now is right on the back of these two, the two Pro-Am drivers who came up together, and whoa!
Yeah, and Matt gets Argent done. They gave each other a lot of room there, but Matt is up into seventh place. He's now got to get past. He's got to get past KLF now, and we know KLF is not going to make it easy, especially now that it is Matt.
No, he is not. As Matt going through turn 2, and now can Matt find the way on the inside of KLF? He's done Argent. Can he find a way past KLF? KLF, one of the harder cars to get past. Mazda is one of the other ones as well, and he's not been able to match Overtaker at the minute. As Matt is get a run through turn 3. Is he able to send it down the inside, outside of KLF? He's already done him before the chicane.
The Mercedes just a lot quicker. Now Argent's going to try and look to pull the same move as he did a lap earlier, but with greater effect as they come to the second chicane. He's not close enough. Can he try and get the run out of here? He's having a look, but he's not close enough.
Argent all over the back of KLF right now. Can't seem to find a way through. Just behind them is Biggs and Emo Guy. They're quite close to one another. Argent goes around the outside, and KLF stays in front.
Kelly will have a poor run.
Oh, Argent's in the wall.
Yeah, I think Kelly pushed him a little bit wide there, and they just came together. So Kelly just needs to watch his defending just a little bit, as Argent's probably not going to be happy about that. But the Biggs and Emo Guy are now going to be closing in.
They are indeed. Who is the quicker one of the two? Emo Guy much faster. As here is Overtaker now looking to try and get past Sutty Apex, who I still think hasn't pitted. So Overtaker, Sutty keeps it on the inside, and Overtaker won't be happy about that. And Overtaker's dropped it.
He's managed to keep it out the
wall. Oh, nearly hits Mazda there. So Sutty there.
Yeah.
A bit naughty from Sutty there.
Yeah, Sutty outbreaks himself and takes Overtaker to the beach with him.
Unless Sutty gives that position back, Overtaker. We have lost Andy. And I'm making a lot of notes this race. So
Argent has got through Kelly's round.
Kelly is round in the chicane. Has he dropped it on his own now? Argent's under pressure from his teammate and Emo Guy. Emo Guy is coming down the inside as Sutty goes into the pits. So as Emo Guy goes, as they make contact.
Yeah, they've made contact. Where's Kelly in all of this? Kelly gets one. Can he get two? No. I think as D Biggs was trying a bit of a cutback, he caught the back of Emo Guy and spun him around the front. But have to see if anything comes from that. D Biggs is now going to be under attack from KLF 900. Overtaker on the back of Mazda again.
So the only man we are waiting for to pit now is your race leader, Gary 131, as Overtaker is stuck behind Mazda, and that is the worst thing that you could probably ask for, because he jumped him in the pits, and now Mazda leads this race. I'm going to have to try and... my internet's not wanting to work, but the poll at the minute is still going. So if you want to put your vote in on who you think is going to take the win, Andy out of this race, so it's Mazda, Overtaker and Matt, and at the minute it is Mazda leading this way, and Gary has now pitted. Everybody is now pitted within the window. Who is going to come out on top of this one? Mazda versus Overtaker, but as Mazda hold him up enough that Gary could get the jump. Gary's already moving in the pits, so he's already done his stop, I think. Nope, now he's stopped. So Gary will be quite close to these guys if he's managed to get a good pit stop. Oh, as he's managed to get going.
Gary is away now. Matt as well is on the back of his arch nemesis, Sutty Apex. Now,
These
whenever
two-
these two race together, so they always end up crashing into each other. So, for Matt, he's hoping that
Gary's off the limiter, but he's not going to be able to be in front of these two. His Overtaker sends it on the inside of Mazda. Mazda gives him room, just enough room, but Mazda able to use the power of the Mercedes and stays in front. Gary, only 2 seconds behind, so he might be able to get back into this fight.
Yeah, he might well be able to. Matt has done Sutty as well, so Matt is now going to hunt down Emplava, but he is a long way up the road. But Overtaker trying to get past that Mercedes, world's widest Mercedes.
Mazda is trying to hold on for a race win here. He just lost out in Road America. So can he hang on here as he stays ahead of Overtaker? And Overtaker just has more grip, has more confidence. Look at him. Look at that Lamborghini.
Yeah, he's looking. He's going to look around the outside. But, oh, Mazda's gone wide and here comes the Lamborghini. But Mazda's going to have better straight line speed, but Mazda tucks in, and that's Overtaker in the lead. But is Mazda going to have a look back up the inside? Yeah, he does. He outbrake himself. He outbraked himself, and Overtaker just goes right back around the outside. Thank you.
Oh, he's hit the tire grass though, and lost the rear a little bit. So Mazda might still have an opportunity here. That Mercedes has more grunt than that Lamborghini, but I think as soon as Overtaker gets away, I don't think we'll see Mazda.
He's gone wide though. Is Mazda going to have a look at the inside? He has a look, but no chance. Argent is now on the back of Sutty's little. Gary has attached himself onto the back of Mazda, so Mazda's now going to have to defend from Gary 131 as Overtaker is now starting to put a little bit of a gap.
He is indeed. You see, Max is in the chat after taking his 2 wins last night. He's decided to come in and say hello in the chat here for the pro. Is Overtaker bouncing right over that curb there. He does that one too many times. The car's going to become a bit more unsettled and he's going to lose it. So hopefully he'll be able to keep that under control. Mazda now under some serious pressure from the 2-time champ. He's breathing down the neck of Mazda here. Gary 131 has suddenly found a lease of life here. He always seems to go better in race 2, and here he goes on the back of Mazda. These two bought it out in season 1. Gary came out on top and ended up being Sutty fighting towards the end with Gary, but Gary knows Mazda very, very well. Can he find a way fast? He's 6 seasons racing this guy. Has he now figured out a way to get past this Mercedes of the Teletubby Motorsport driver?
Thought Mazda had gone a little bit deep there, but he hadn't. He's parking his car right where he needs to. The problem Gary's got is his car. He's got the same car as Mazda, whereas Overtaker had a different car, can use the benefits of Lamborghini. Mazda's can run a little bit wide.
Oh, Mazda's dropped it!
Mazda's dropped it. He's got going again. I think he was probably assisted spinning it back round a bit quicker by Gary.
Yeah, I think the car was going round no matter what happened, and Gary just didn't have time to react, being that close to the back of Mazda. And Mazda, how much damage has he sustained from that? And Gary as well, because Emprava isn't actually too far behind these guys. Matt and Emprava lapping much faster than the leaders, actually, other than Overtaker. They're matching the leaders at the minute.
Yeah, they are at the minute. Hey, just looking at the poll at the minute, it is tied 33%. For the win between Andy and Mazda. That doesn't look like that's going to happen now. 8% for Overtaker, who's now got a full second lead, and 25% for Matt.
Yeah, Matt at the minute, I think it's going to be a miracle for Matt to win this race. He could get a podium, and there's a car off in turn 1. I don't know who that is, but there is a car off. I don't know who it is. I think it might have been... It was Biggs, I think, went off in turn 1. Might have been D Biggs who'd gone off. KLF is now ahead.
Yeah, we'll have to have a look at the lap times when they come through. Kelly's being slow, or is this Kelly being a wily old fox?
Oh, they both bounce over the curb there.
And this just presents an opportunity to Emo Guy. Emo Guy's having a look down the inside. He needs no second invitation. D-Biggs.
He's going around the outside.
D-Biggs
Biggs is after. They're going to try this again, and they make contact once again through the chicane. This time, Biggs comes better off, and Emo Guy has to sit behind and wait behind. Emo Guy with a podium in race 1. Race 2, he's currently 10th and trying to find a way past these two at the minute. And is he going to send it to turn 1? Kelly defends the inside. Emo Guy goes down the inside of Biggs. They make contact again, and Biggs loses the rear wing.
Yeah, Biggs loses his rear wing. I think his rear wing must have been made out of styrofoam or something, because that just flopped off. And
as Biggs goes into the pits, he has to with that rear wing damage. And Emo Guy and Kelly go straight on there.
yeah, Kelly, Emo Guy had about a half spin, so Peaceful might get D-Biggs here.
He might be able to, yeah. The rear wing might take a little bit longer. So Peaceful, with him sticking at it, is going to make another position here. But Gary now is still in second place. He's lost quite a bit of time to Overtaker. Overtaker 32-0. He is long gone. As Mazda made another mistake, because he's quite a bit off of Gary now. And that's inviting M. Prava, who's brought the gap down to 5 seconds. M. Prava is flying right now. 33-0. Matt 32-7. They're similar matching pace one another. So these two are coming after Mazda here.
Yeah, they are, but so at the minute there's no close battles on track. D-Biggs is now on his way out the pitch. That is his second race ruined. He's just got to get to the finish, get some points, and move on to Spa next week. As he comes out and misses
Biggs once again.
He's missed the pit exit again.
He comes flying out and goes across the pit exit. Could jeopardize Mazda's line there. And he's now in front of Mazda. Is he going to get out the way of him, or is he just going to hold him up a little bit longer, which is going to invite M. Prava? Biggs is hit the wall. Oh, Mazda just missing Biggs there. How's he managed to do that? We don't know. It's here. Emo Guy and Argent's still going at it with KLF still ahead of Argent's lost it, sorry.
Yeah, Argent's made a mistake, possibly at the chicane. So both of the Audis not having a good time of it. One at the lead in Audi in 9th, and his teammate down in 11th. As Mazda's got through on Gary, so Gary has made a mistake.
Yeah, Gary has made a mistake. So Mazda now back up in the second place, and M. Prava is not too far behind them either. There he is. He can see the top two battling out for second and third. The leader is long gone. Overtaker with the open air 31-7, and he is checked out 12 seconds out in front of the rest of the pack. But right now, Mazda, Gary are going to get hunted down by M. Prava if they keep making these mistakes, and not too far behind him is Matt, matching M. Prava's pace as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's an Audi into the bits. That might be D-Biggs again. So yeah, D-Biggs has had an absolutely torrid race. Argent's now got ahead of Kelly, and Emo Guy has as well. Kelly's going to try and defend.
Oh, they've come together.
Yeah,
all of them are coming together.
Yeah. And Argent manages to get. No, he leaves. He lets Emo Guy have the position back. All this squad run though is letting Peaceful close up onto the back of him.
Ever so slowly, but it's taking Peaceful a while. He's now got Overtaker behind him, and he's going to have to either allow Overtaker through. And he's stuck right on the back of him at the minute. Overtaker, obviously, Peaceful has no reason to get out of the way. So Overtaker goes to the inside. And Peaceful is just going to make his life a little bit easier just by staying wide. And over he goes.
Yeah.
So, back to Gary and Mazda. As Mazda has now lost the second place. As Gary now goes back in front of him.
Yeah, so Mazda. We'll see on this that has Mazda made a mistake, so everyone's struggling, and M. Prava is going to be rubbing his hands together, thinking can these two make a few more mistakes to give him a second place?
Can they indeed? That is the question. Guys, if you haven't done so, then please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And if you also want to hit the bell to be notified for when we are live, so you do not miss a single bit of action here at Simplay Motorsport. No F1 on Sunday, as the championship has come to an end. Matimovic was your champion as Aston Martin for the constructors. But make sure you tune in on a Tuesday night, as we will have the British Touring Cars returning as they go to their penultimate round of the season. They head to Brands Hatch GP before they head to the top 12 shootout as they go to Knock Hill. Can Fury maintain his championship lead, or will Cobb hunt him down? Jay isn't too far behind him either, as Nick also as well. I will be running the first time in a long time in race 1 without having to take that 100-litre fuel penalty. So can I do anything at Brands Hatch GP? Also, make sure you tune in on Tuesday night, 8 PM, to see the touring cars out on track. And we will return next week again for the GT3s Pro and Pro-Am, as they will be heading to Spa. Us here at Simplay Motorsport, not wanting to jet through around all over the places. We're staying here in Belgium for the GT3s, heading over to Spa for the next round of the championship. Can Max carry on his domination here at Zolder and take a couple of race wins at Spa? And also, Overtaker still leading this race in a minute. Can he extend his championship lead by the end of this race and carry that momentum over to Spa? Jamie, this has been a great race for Matt, Overtaker so far, as Matt has only had a win and he's only in 5th place position. So far, Overtaker will come away from this with more points.
Yeah, he will. Gary had a little wiggle there. See, on Spa next week, I think we're getting the crowd warmed up, because I had a look at them, had a look what's on at Spa the next weekend, you'll never guess. It's a 24 hours of Spa.
The 24 hours of Spa will be next week. More importantly, this weekend is the 24 hours of Le Mans. So yeah, if you're interested in that, have a look at that as well. Keep an eye on, as there's all sorts of racing going on this weekend. Also F1 and the British Touring Car Championship as well. So loads of racing here, and it's a good thing F1 isn't on, because I don't think I'll be able to commentate after all those racing, and I'm so glad that F1 is finished, as Jamie took the last win of the season, didn't you, mate?
Yep, I did. I pulled the lag switch out.
As Emo Guy is currently in 7th place and now ahead of KLF.
Emplava's on the back of Mazda as well with three laps to go.
So Emplava, he just lapped. His last lap compared to Mazda was 1.2 faster than Mazda. Mazda's really struggled last lap. This lap doesn't look any better. Emplava, the young Latvian, is pressurizing the veteran of Mazda here. But once again, Jamie, we know what Mazda's like. He is the most difficult driver to get past. How can Emplava clear this car? He's only got a couple of laps left to do so. His overtaker starts lap 20.
Yeah, Emplava's just got to be able to surprise Mazda with a lunge down the inside when Mazda's not expecting it. But I wonder whether Mazda's tyres have just gone on a bit. We heard at the end of race 1 that a lot of drivers were struggling with their tyres at the end of the race, and perhaps Emplava's been looking after his tyres the entire race.
Possibly so, as they are now coming into the final few laps here. They've been pushing as hard as they possibly can all night long, and it is Overtaker who's coming on top at this minute. He's got a comfortable gap of 16 seconds to Gary, but Mazda is the man who's got all the pressure on his shoulders here. Emplava is right on the back of him and not too far behind them. Any mistake from there is Matt. He is ready to pounce as Emplava bounces over the curb but loses traction there.
Argent's made a mistake because Peaceful's now going back because Argent wasn't too far behind KLF, so Peaceful could get 9th place here. But yeah, as you say, any mistakes from these three, and Matt will be through.
Definitely so, guys. Please give this video a like, as these guys have put on an epic show for you tonight, and they are really pushing it to the limits here at Zolder for rounds 9 and 10. Round 10 at the minute going the way of Overtaker. Emplava, he's running out of time, he's running out of options, he's done the hard work of catching, and as Mario Walker said, there's one thing to catch, it's another to overtake.
Oh, Mazda looked a bit shaky under the brake, so Peaceful has done Argent for 9th. So Argent...
No, he hasn't. They're swapping and changing right now. Argent and Peaceful are still battling it out there for those last few places, and every point counts in this championship, as Andy does well know, as myself and Andy well from last season, separated by 1 point going into the last round, which ironically was Spa. So every point counts here, as Emplava, Gary and Mazda will be catching these two up very, very quickly as they both go wide, as Argent nearly hits the wall.
Yeah, very close to the wall. Oh, it's Peaceful. It's a Brilliant run. You managed to hit the has Emplava dropped it? Emplava's dropped it because Matt's up into 4th.
Emplava, after all that hard work at catching Mazda, he has dropped it and he has fallen behind. He was looking for a podium position. He has now dropped it down to 5th place position. Matt will gain an extra point. Overtaker will not be too happy about that one. Meanwhile, Peaceful and Argent still going at it. I think Peaceful has now dropped behind Argent as Matt's dropped it.
Yeah, Matt's dropped it now. So Emplava has that position back, and Matt's struggling to get going here. So Mazda, all the pressure's off Mazda. Can he launch an assault on Gary? I think it's too late with only a lap and a bit to go. There's Peaceful and Argent battling in front. Peaceful's now got back in front. So the prancing horse is ahead of the Audi.
Excuse me, as I'm having another sneezing fit, but Peaceful has managed to get through Argent in the Audi, and it's going to be...
As Argent drops it, and Peaceful just... Peaceful's dropped it as well.
Sorry.
For Gary and Mazda, there's obstacles in the middle of the track on this last lap. There's someone else who's dropped it. There's who's that they've lapped? Is that D Biggs? Or is it who is? It's Kelly. Kelly's dropped it at the chicane. He's not going to lose any positions because Argent is 20 seconds back. Where's Overtaker on track? Overtaker is now going to come through.
I apologise, Jamie. The sneezing fit has now come to an end. As Overtaker is coming into the hairpin now, and what a race too. He has delivered here, done it in the pit stops, made a mistake, lost the place to Mazda, but he has gained the position back. Oh, he nearly drops it there in the hairpin, but Overtaker will come away and extend his championship lead here, leaving Zolder as he heads to Spa, possibly where the Lamborghini might struggle compared to the Mercedes. But Silence of the Lambos once again scoring big points, but Overtaker will come home and win round 10 of the championship. So Overtaker wins it here in the Lamborghini. Gary 131, your two-time champion, is going to come home. He's finally got that Mercedes hooked up, and once again a race 2 has gone his way. He's going to come home for that second place position after a great run in the touring cars. He's now going to start hooking things up in the... Oh no, he's dropped it! Let's be hyping him up there, and... Is he reversing across the line?
He's reversing.
Mazda will take second. Gary is going to take third.
Surely there's got to be some penalty points for that. Oh, as Matt hits him across the line and ends up on his roof, Emplava's just going to miss him.
Gary does take third. Matt will take fourth. Emplava fifth. I'm going to have to note that.
Matt's now back on his roof.
But yeah, Emplava will come home fifth. Sutty Apex exiting the final corner. Gary gave that place to Mazda. Sutty coming home to finish in 6th place position. 7th is going to go the way of Emo Guy. KLF will finish in 8th, wherever he is. He thinks he's finished. As Emo Guy, D-Biggs will come home last in 11th place position. Peaceful was finished as well in 10th. And D-Biggs, Emo Guy will be the last man to cross the line in that 7th place position. And Jamie, if you want to get Mazda and Gary into the chat, as Emo Guy flashes across the line, who takes fastest lap race of this one? No doubt about it, is Overtaker. Yeah. So Overtaker wins round 10. This hay fever has really knocked me for 6 out of nowhere. Overtaker is your race winner. He will score maximum points here, including the fastest lap as well. Mazda is in 2nd, 3rd is Gary, 4th is Matimovic, 5th is Emplava, 6th is Sutty, 7th is Emo Guy, 8th is KLF, 9th is Argent, 10th is Peaceful, 11th is Biggs, and that is everyone finished. Andy retiring as well, and Fury leaving the session as well, as we just wait for the top 3 to come in, as we get a couple of votes of driver of the day in the chat if we possibly can. Jamie, as the drivers, before they come into the chat, quickly from you, who's your driver of the day?
My driver of the day is going to be Overtaker first and a second, extending his championship lead. He couldn't have asked for much more.
Yeah, I'm going to give Matt an honourable mention after a race win in race 1. He did do very well to recover to come back to 4th place after that big incident at the start, but it has to be Overtaker tonight. He absolutely destroyed a race 2 on this one. As you do have the top 3 in with us now, and we will start with Gary. And Gary, what actually happened in the final corner there, mate? Because
I think we got a bit excited on the old loud pedal.
Sadly, you have been noted as reversing across the line, so we're gonna have to review that. But nonetheless,
Is that in the rules? Is it?
You can't
I thought
spin
it was spun on the line.
You're still technically facing the wrong way. We'll have to decide that. I think I have to discuss with the I have to discuss the admin team about that one. But
okay.
Gary, other than that, been a relatively solid race for yourself, up and down with Mazda, and good points for yourself.
Yeah, not too bad. Mazda's been a pain in my arse tonight, but that's all part of racing, I suppose. His car's about 5 times as wide as anything else I've ever come across, but there you go.
Do you think that, I arguably, a lot of people say that KLF is probably one of the most difficult to overtake. I arguably say that Mazda is. Do you agree with that statement, or do you still think that Kelly's worse?
Nah, to a certain extent. He don't really place his car on the inside or the outside. It's kind of in the middle, so you've literally got nowhere to go. That's sort of like, okay. I think I could have got ahead of him in the first one and made some good ground, but I just got held behind him and then held at the pit stop, and yeah, it was just a dismal race.
Yeah, definitely. So yourself and Matt scoring some decent points, 3rd and 4th at the minute as well. For the team, that's a lot better considering the Silence of the Lambos really hit hard in race 1, and you guys hit back in race 2.
Yeah, it's going to be ebbs and flows all season, I think. It's a shame I missed last week to help the team out, but family come first, I suppose. So yeah, we'll go again next week. Unfortunately, at the worst track on the game, I think.
I was going to say, we go to the next round of the championship, which is Spa. What can you do from there then, mate?
Try keep the car with no damage and try and help Matt out where I can, because I know he likes Spa, so yeah, we'll just see how we go on.
And don't spin at the final corner as well. It's probably a good thing as well.
Yeah, I'll try that one as
well. Congratulations on P3, mate, and for the team points as well.
Cheers, boys, and well done, Mazda. Well done, Overtaker.
We now move on to a Mazda, and Mazda, on the cards, it looked like a race win would have been on the table, but one too many mistakes, and Overtaker managed to nip you towards the end of that race.
Yeah, well, you know, I've been busy away, decorating the house. We finally got one. Yeah, so I've not had time to practice, and I feel like I've just got to learn the car again, because I'm not feeling confident with this car at the minute. So yeah, back to the drawing board, I think. But yeah.
Well, yeah, a little bit more practice, you should be able to get the car underneath your feet a little bit better. But it seems like the Mercedes was quite strong here, so maybe a bit more time under the car, you should be able to have it ready for Spa. But nonetheless, you had some great racing with Gary and also a couple of the other cars. So overall, a great night's racing for yourself.
Yeah, you know, like first race, I thought I had it in the bag, but that chicane caught me out and I dropped it. So yeah, then obviously race 2, I got pole out of nowhere. I was like, wow, okay, let's see what we can do. Got a cracking start on, but I was like, wow, I normally get, drive through for them, but yeah, it worked. I pulled away, I had Andy. Yeah, I might have cut this last corner, I think, because I just outbraked myself. I lift off the throttle, and the next minute I know Andy's not behind me, and I'm thinking, wow, okay. And then it was up and down. Halfway through that race, I had my wireless headset going off, beeping. I'm like, oh my god, so I had to shout the missus to come and help me out, and she forgot to turn the plug socket on, so I had it beeping. and then I backed off because I thought, right, 3rd place, great points for the team, you know. And then next minute I see Gary facing it wrong way. I'm thinking, oh my god, it's my lucky day. So yeah, great points for great 2nd place and great points for the team.
Well, next week we head to Spa, a circuit that I believe you enjoy.
Oh yeah, I definitely love Spa, definitely.
A bit of time under the car, a bit of practice. What can you do at Spa?
I'm going to say again, top 10, you know, because the lads, you know, the pro pace is unbelievable from all 16 drivers. So yeah, I'm hoping to dodge Gary, you know. At the minute he seems to be, you know, falling my arse, but yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Definitely so. But nonetheless, mate, congratulations on P2 and scoring some decent points for Teletubby Racing.
Yep, just thank you and great. Congratulations to Overtaker and Gary for podium. Yep.
As we do move on to the man of the night, Overtaker. What a night of racing for yourself. Second in the first race, but you managed to do one better in race 2, but you had to do it the hard way though.
Yeah, it was okay. I managed to stay out of the trouble, just like planned. Then I had a really good pit stops for a change. I managed to jump Mazda and
once again you made
the distance.
Yeah, once again, you seem to make a mistake in the chicane area once again, and Mazda managed to jump you a little bit, but you were able to clear Mazda a little bit quicker, but he is a tricky character to get past, isn't he?
Well, I don't know if you were on board with me. I actually did make a mistake, and Sati cut me off.
Oh, right,
so
okay.
That was the reason. He dive bombed out
Yeah,
of
yeah,
nowhere,
I remember
so,
now. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah.
So that was the reason. I know I can go past Mazda because he was not as fast as Matt on the straight line, so that is my main problem. I run a lot of downforce for the corners, so when I need to overtake a car, it's difficult in this twisty track. So yeah, it was okay.
Well, you leave round here leading the championship, extending it now with 42 points over Matt. We head to Spa next. Is it a track that you like, and what can you do at Spa, and can you really take a firm grip of this championship if we reach the halfway point?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Spa, one of my favorite tracks. If Matt is listening, I'm gonna scare him a bit. My record is 216, so we'll see if I can manage that in qualifying next week.
But nonetheless, congratulations on the race win and extending your championship lead. As Overtaker there puts a threat down to Matt, saying, here's my record, can you beat it? That is the question. A lot of work for Matt to do, a lot of work for a lot of drivers here to do, as that is it for round 10 here. Congratulations to Overtaker as well for taking driver of the day from myself and Jamie. And Jamie, a quick recap of tonight. Race 1 was relatively clean, but race 2 was completely dramatic.
Yeah, race 2 was very dramatic. To be fair, race 1 was very dramatic as well, but say race 1 was very clean. It was just a very good defensive drive from Matt in race 1, a very good defensive drive from Emo Guy in race 1 as well. But Overtaker dominated the second race, and it's good to see Mazda and Gary back on the podium. Say next week on Spa, it's a track that I do really like, and hopefully the racing will be very good round there.
Definitely so. And a quick recap of the championship. Overtaker still leads the championship, 42 ahead of Matt, 208 he's on, and Matt on 166. Fury still in that third place position, but he's a bit way off after retiring from this race. Andy in P4 at this stage, with Emo Guy slowly hunting him down in P5, with D-Biggs in 6th and Peaceful in 7th. Very close between the top guys at this minute, between D-Biggs, Peaceful, Mazda and Gary, and Emo Guy is all separated by 15 points. Gary currently in 9th place position. He's not too far off the back of them, with Emplava in 10th. 11th is Sati Apex. 12th is KLF. 13th is Smoky Devil. 14th is Argent. And 15th is Monkey Boy. The team championships looks like this. Silent Soft Lambo is leading the way with 61 points ahead of Jaeger Motorsport. This is going to go down between these two towards the end of the season. We can see that happening. Teletubby Motorsports go into 3rd place position, 104 off the leaders. Audio Spirit Prolapse move up ahead, are pushing Limits Racing, as in now 1 point ahead of them, a close fight between them, as Slingshot Motorsport drop down to 6th place, with Smoking Hot Racing down in 7th, and Simplay Racing bringing up the rear. That is it for Zolder here. It's been an epic round for all the drivers. Pro-Am and Pro have been dramatic. We look forward to seeing you all within a week's time as we head to Spa, but make sure you tune in on Tuesday night as the British Touring Cars will return as we head to Brands Hatch for the penultimate round. 1 round to go before we head to Knock Hill. But from myself, from Jamie and all the pro drivers, it's good night.
From myself and Jamie and all the pro drivers.
You clear?
Shit, I've saved the replay.
I've got it.
Good man.
D-Biggs equals Bellend.
He done it twice.
D-Biggs